to get out of this shutdown last night. They needed 60 votes. They got 60 votes.
But not from Georgia's senators. They both voted down against the stopgap measure, saying their demands that health care subsidies are reinstated still won't be met, although Republicans insist they're willing to negotiate after the government is reopened. One other note on the shutdown this morning, a federal appeals court has now ordered full SNAP food benefits and aid must be paid for in November. That comes after the state of Georgia tells beneficiaries they would only get 65% of their payments for this month. It is currently 37 degrees in Midtown Atlanta on what's going to be a cold day. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards say wind gusts could get over 30 miles per hour today. The high may not make it to 40 degrees. It could set a record. We face a hard freeze tonight. Atlanta's most accurate, dependable forecast is coming up. Updating news that broke overnight as well as President Trump announces he is pardoning all co-defendants charged with election meddling here in Georgia following the 2020 election. That includes major names like former advisor Rudy Giuliani and former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, along with attorney Sidney Powell, who pled guilty in the case. Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl says while Trump pardoned just one person by this time in his first term, he's now pardoned more than 1,500 this time around.
The pardon attorney, Ed Martin, who announced these pardons, had earlier this year said in a post on X, no MAGA left behind. So the other trend you see here is Donald Trump pardoning those who supported him.
Giuliani was later ordered to pay almost $150 million after losing his defamation lawsuit to a pair of Fulton County election workers. It's not a rerun. Once again today, the DeKalb County School Board will vote on more security upgrades for schools around the county, this time totaling almost $20 million.
25 elementary, middle, and high schools in the district would see their on-campus security upgraded as part of this proposal. Last August, the board approved a contract with Lefco Construction to install the so-called security vestibules. According to the agenda item, the cost for the systems across the 25 campuses is more than $18 million in education SPLOST funding. If approved by the board, work would begin immediately. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Prosecutors in Cherokee County send out a new warning for parents after several convictions against child predators.
As many as 90% of child sex abusers are known to the victim's family. Cherokee County Assistant District Attorney Lena Pope says the predators not only groom the kids, they groom the parents too.
And they present very well because obviously you're not going to let the creepy guy with the van around your child, but you would help a baseball coach. You're going to help the scout leader. You want those relationships for your children, and offenders can take advantage of that.
Attention, gifts, secrets, isolation, all can be part of gradually sexualizing the relationship under a parent's nose. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
And with many questions in the labor market, double majors are becoming more commonplace in colleges. A recent survey at the University of Wisconsin-Madison finds almost a third of its students have two majors, and it's a trend catching on elsewhere. Labor experts say double majors help students hedge their bets if one field dries up. It's especially popular in volatile fields like tech and data science with the rise of artificial intelligence. We're right in the middle of that. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start at the WSB 24-hour traffic center in Smiley Mark McKay.
Still seeing red brake lights, Judd, trying to get through northeast Atlanta on I-85, leaving Claremont Road. 400 is east up out of Buckhead. Still going to have a little bit of a slow zone getting past Georgia Tech on the connector southbound, but much improved from earlier, and that includes the northbound ride, 75-85, through the heart of downtown Atlanta. What's left out of the northern suburbs, Ashley Frasca?
Still have some slow traffic rolling 85 south out of Duluth. Waves of volume from 316 getting past Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Georgia 400 south, the worst of that between Haynesbridge and Holcomb Bridge. And look out for a stalled box truck in Duluth causing delays at Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. It's in the right lane southbound at Abbott's Bridge. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold today. High 39. Wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. A hard freeze tonight with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, trending just a little warmer. High 47.
Get these temperatures: 35 degrees in Marietta, 38 in McDonough, just 36 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I feel like we need a weather promo now with Judd voicing it.
Hard freeze.
Christina's voice is so lovely and nice. Hard freeze. I want Judd. Give me your best scary hard freeze voice.
hard freeze.
There it is.
Yeah,
Rack it up.
right.
Rack it up. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. Yeah, we are bracing for a hard freeze in the 30s around Metro Atlanta, but I'm okay with it. It was so windy last night, though. I thought all the trees in my neighborhood were going to come down. Christina, with her lovely voice, will update the hard freeze and her full 5-day forecast throughout the show. Welcome, friends. A lot to talk about today. Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. We're going to chat with author Mitch Albom. Remember Tuesdays with Maury? He is going to join us live. And we got some new poll numbers out on how Americans feel about the economy. Got to start off, though, with the big story. You know, we've been, geez, Deborah, I forgot. Is this day 40? Are we at day 40 of the government shutdown? I think it was 37 on Friday, 38, 39, 41. Day 41 of the government shutdown. Is there an end in sight? Joining us from ABC News in the nation's capital, Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, the question on every listener's mind right now, will they or won't they end the government shutdown? What do we know this Monday morning?
Well, look, we are on track to end this shutdown, perhaps by the end of the week. What happened overnight? The Senate voted 60-40 to get onto a bill that would end and that is the first significant development in 6 weeks of all this. The filibuster was broken last night with 8 Democrats coming over with Republicans to get onto this thing with the airing of a new offer that would fund government agencies through the end of January, keeping a government shutdown off the table until then, and also funding in full the legislative branch, the FDA, the USDA, SNAP benefits, military construction, the Veterans Affairs Department, and a number of other things, but keep everything else funded through the end of January. Look, where we are requires a number of more votes to take place in the Senate and ultimately in the House before the shutdown ends. But there's movement now. There really is some grease in the gears here, and it's, I think, likely that we'll see an end to the shutdown by the end of the week at this point. I will tell you, though, politically speaking, there is a real rift in the Democratic Party this morning. There are activists in every community, certainly in the Atlanta metro, all the way up to Washington, D.C., who are furious at Senate Democrats for taking the step that 8 of them did last night, because they say that Democrats have extended this shutdown for 6 weeks and nothing out of it except a promise, a handshake agreement to have a vote sometime next month on something having to do with the expiring health insurance subsidies that are leading to spikes in premiums in the Affordable Care Act exchanges, affecting some 20 million Americans. Democrats say that, in the main, they say that this should have been something that they should have made a longer stand on, but the Democrats who voted for it say that strategy simply wasn't working. Donald Trump was not going to sit at the table and hammer out an agreement with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, going over the heads of Republican leaders who insisted that the shutdown end first. And so they decided to do what they felt was right and move to end the shutdown first.
Stephen, let's talk about the timeline of this. If the Senate does approve and get the 60 votes, it then has to go to the House. From all indications, not a lot of House members are on Capitol Hill right now, so they would have to get back. And what's the earliest the House could vote on this?
Last night, House leadership advised members that they would have 36 hours to get back to D.C., despite all the air traffic control issues, and pass or vote on this measure. And the expectation would be, if it passes the Senate with more than 60 votes, that that's enough of a sign of bipartisanship that there wouldn't be any trouble in the House. But you never know. I mean, look, one of the measures that this new bill would include is a specific language that directs the Trump administration to reverse the layoffs of people who were let go over the course of the shutdown. I've never seen language so explicit trying to direct this Trump administration as to how it's going to operate the executive branch. And I wonder what the reaction is going to be inside the White House and among Republicans on Capitol Hill, because there's been a real reticence so far this year, and the idea that Congress can assert itself in that way. Maybe we'll see it happen here.
Yeah, we'll see if how President Trump feels about that, and most notably. Who are the Democrats that voted in the Senate for this, and what did Republican Senator Paul vote on this?
Luckily for you, I've got a list. Senator Paul did vote against it. The Democrats who voted in favor were Tim Kaine of Virginia, Dick Durbin of Illinois, Maggie Hassan and Jen Shaheen of New Hampshire, Jackie Rose and Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Angus King of Maine.
Most notably, the 2 Georgia Democrat senators did not vote for that. All right, Stephen, obviously a huge story. We'll follow throughout the day. As always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, you bet.
A lot to unpack there. I think the biggest story the biggest story is ending the government shutdown. Let me rephrase that. But Stephen made a point in there about the rift that is now being created in Democratic circles. I got an email, Deborah, from Jason Estevez. He is running for governor in the state of Georgia. I'm just going to read the press release that he sent me. Former state senator and Democratic candidate for Jason Estevez released the following statement, quote, "The Senate deal is nothing more than a surrender to Donald Trump's reckless and cruel agenda that will rip away health care from millions of Georgians. I am outraged that Trump is using starving children and families as political pawns." All blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, he is not alone. There are a lot of Democrats that are really upset that the Senate Democrats are capitulating and had given that 60 votes to the Senate. Again, the question is, though, when is Congress going to take it up? Now, on a personal level, Maya and I are supposed to fly to New York Thursday night and come back Sunday afternoon for her birthday. So last night or yesterday afternoon, she was like, "We have to cancel this trip." And I was like, "Well, are you sure?" And she's like, "I can't get stranded in New York. I have to come back to work on Monday." I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind getting stranded in New York. But with the flight delays, like right now, I'm looking at FlightAware. Delays at Hartsfield-Jackson today, 103. Cancellations today at Hartsfield-Jackson, 205. Now, I said to her yesterday, because Jamie Dupree got the text from him that it looks like they're going to be close to a deal. But timeline-wise, it doesn't look like the government's going to be open by Thursday at 8 p.m. whenever our flight is. So now I'm like, what do we do? What's the timeline here? Steph Kite from Axios.
Well, right now, the biggest question is whether there's going to be unanimous agreement in the Senate to move forward on this final vote on this package. Last night was a huge breakthrough, the first time that there were enough Democratic votes to even move forward with some kind of a bipartisan deal, but they still have to pass that final passage vote. And this could drag on for a couple days. All eyes are on Senator Rand Paul, the Republican from Kentucky, who often tries to drag these things out. It's unclear if there's going to be an agreement to get this done quickly. Then, of course, the House is going to have to come back and take this up as well. And it's not going to be an easy feat for Speaker Johnson to get this through his chamber either, especially given when it comes to these CRs, these short-term funding bills. There are many Republicans who are uncomfortable with continuing to vote for these to push back the full appropriations process. It's also very clear that Democratic leadership is opposed to this deal, and that will keep many House Democrats in line. There are a handful of moderate House Democrats who will be looking for to see whether they're going to be willing to vote for this deal and provide some cover for Mike Johnson once this does get to the House. And of course, House members are going to have to get back to town relatively quickly at a time when we're seeing many canceled flights across the country and travel headaches.
Good point there, Steph Kite from Axios. So Speaker Johnson gave his House members 36 hours to get back to D.C. Again, I'm just personalizing this. The government is going to be shut down on Thursday when we're supposed to fly to New York. And the flight cancellations aren't slowing down, right? It's now 6%, 7, 8, now it'll be 9 by the time Thursday rolls around. So we have a quandary. Now, Delta said you can, cancel your trip and get the money back. I texted my buddy who works down at the airport just this morning, actually, just to see how he's doing. I'm like, hey, how you holding up, buddy? He goes, I love it. He's like, it's like 65% capacity. Like it's not a ghost town, but with all these flights canceled and folks whose flights aren't even canceled yet, like mine, pre-canceling. So he's like, yeah, this is easy. This is one of the easiest times I've ever had to work down at the airport.
So do you keep it hoping that you'll be able to fly out?
Listen, it's up to Maya. It's her birthday trip. But, we've got my parents were going to drive down to the city. Her dad was going to fly up from Florida. So I don't know yet. So the good news is the government shutdown looks like it's going to end. It's just a matter of when it's going to end. And then what's going to happen with the Democratic infighting if they do cave on this after 41 plus days. So what I said to Maya, I'm like, well, if we fly, she's worried about flying back, getting stranded there. She has an important work day on Monday. I guess I have to come to work on Monday, But I said to her, I'm like, well, it's a 13-hour drive from New York City to Atlanta. Like, if we get to the airport on Sunday morning and your flight's canceled, I'm like, I can rent a car and drive us down, and we'll both be here in time for work. And she didn't seem happy with a 13-hour. She's like, I have to go to work
Piece
after.
of cake.
Yeah. But apparently, I'm not the only person that is thinking, all right, flight's canceled or flight's going to be canceled. Let's drive. Huge rise in car rentals here in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, because of all those cancellations or people worried that they're going to have cancellations, there's been a big uptick in car rentals. And Hertz said they saw a big increase in one-way bookings just on Saturday. And then overall, they've doubled than normal. They're about 20% higher than they were last year at this season for people trying to travel during the holidays. And right now, they're saying they don't have any supply issues. So if you wanted to rent a car, they should be okay.
They have plenty.
But they're also saying make sure you do it in advance. Don't expect to walk up to the counter that day and get the car you want. Or if you want to be a little more secure, if you rent a car outside of the airport, chances are you'll get the one that you want rather than whatever they have.
I never get the car that I want.
Never? Ever?
Never, ever.
Ever?
No, never, ever. Because I don't know what it is. Either when I get there, they're like, we don't have it, but we'll upgrade you to this free guy. Or they're like, we're bare bones. You're downgrade to a Yugo. But anyway, so if you are planning on renting a car, whether it's an alternative to flying or not, pre-prepared that things might be dicey. As a lot of folks are, I don't want to take a 13-hour drive.
Sorry, Maya.
I don't want to. It's up to her. I told her whatever she wants to do, we'll do. Anyway, after the news at 9:35, we'll go back live to D.C. Ed O'Keefe from CBS with the latest on the shutdown. Still to come, might we see a tariff dividend check from President Trump? And we'll, of course, hit our top local stories. Right now, however, at 9:17 on the Mark Arum Show, got to check that Monday morning drive around town. Hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Good news with the crash we were watching in Northwest Atlanta, all on the right shoulder and quickly clearing from that now. 75 southbound just before Northside Drive. Delays continue, though, as you work your way to the Brooklyn Split and then on the connector southbound on and off the brakes from 17th Street down to William Street. Northbound delays easing up greatly now, just hitting the brake lights from I-20 through the Grady Curve, breaking free past John Lewis Freedom Parkway. This support is brought to you by the Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola. Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola have partnered to give you the best of both worlds, all under one special deal. Get your combo ticket at AtlantaIcons.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
1 in 7 Georgians and 1 in 5 Georgia children are estimated to be food insecure.
With SNAP benefits going away in the holiday here, times are especially hard, but you can help make a difference today.
It's the annual 95.5 WSB Triple Team Traffic Food Drive.
Go to WSBradio.com and contribute to help the Atlanta Community Food Bank.
Or come out in person on Friday, November 21st to the Publix located at 11800 Haynesbridge Road in Alpharetta.
Help a local family in need. Go to WSBradio.com to find out how you can donate today.
Hey y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and many of you know I've been talking about the amazing folks at Four Seasons Home Care for quite a while now. So many of you have asked me questions about if home care is right for your aging parents. So I brought in my expert, Deborah Barron of Four Seasons Home Care. Okay, Deborah, the main thing that people ask me is how flexible is home health care? Do I have to lock into a long contract?
There's no binding contract. We just have a service agreement that you would sign, and there's nothing that locks you into a plan. So we try to be flexible to follow the needs of your parent. Some of our clients start with just a few days a week, and I think that's a great way to ease into things.
Now, Deborah, I know that my parents needed a lot of care. They needed 24-hour around-the-clock care. But I'm sure some clients only need help preparing meals, things like that. How does Four Seasons Home Care deal with that?
Yes. So a big part of our process, and I believe the most important one, includes a home visit from our registered nurse. And she is going to sit down with your family member and go over everything and see exactly what you might need. Some people may just need a little bit of care, and others may need more in-depth, hands-on care. So they are brilliant at laying out a plan of care that's tailored for each situation. And I think you really need that kind of customization to ensure your parents get exactly what they need.
Folks, if you have aging parents who are clear that they want to age in place in the comfort of their homes, I cannot recommend enough the experts like Deborah at Four Seasons Home Care. It's 100% free and is such a crucial step in getting your parents what they need for their care and allows you, the child, to do your role, and that's just love them and be there for them. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Considering a new roof? FGA Roofing offers a free roof assessment. Mention Tim Andrews and your free quote will be discounted $750. And that's good for 1 year. Ask about their 0% financing plans. Visit FGARoofing.com for a quote today.
The legendary Eastman Gun Shows are this weekend at the Clarence Brown Arena in Cartersville. Bring your friends and family. Rain or shine. Saturday 9 to 5. Sunday 10 to 4. We have everything for the lovers of the right to bear arms. Eastman Gun Shows, proud supporters of the Second Amendment.
Don't delay peace of mind. At Ace Hardware Home Services, we make it easier to upgrade your heating, cooling, or plumbing with flexible financing options. Whether it's a new HVAC system or a major plumbing job, our licensed pros get the job done right with payment plans to fit your budget. Call 770-233-7787 or visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to schedule your free estimate. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Does this sound like you, where every step or reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you're not able to do and how far you've drifted from the life you used to have when you didn't feel that pain? Good news for you, because relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? It's Mark Aaron from my pals at QC Kinetics, where they tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve pain at its source. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to their heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment, and for every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. A great time to book your free consultation. So call QC Kinetics today. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Locations in Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville.
Normally, Rufus doesn't like the vet. But these veterans are his favorite. They protect our country. Veterans Day is November 11th, and Findlay Roofing honors our local vets. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, veterans get a special $1,500 discount on roof replacement. Offer ends Veterans Day. 0% financing is available. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Happy 42nd birthday, Miranda Lambert. This is her song, Over You, won Song of the Year from both the CMA and the Academy of Country Music. She is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but who is Deborah? Atlanta's own.
Outcast made it in. Oh my gosh, I got teary-eyed watching them get inducted.
Deborah is our musical correspondent. We'll go in depth on Outcast's induction. Sad news for local sports fans. I'm going to talk about my personal experience with this fella, but Lenny Wilkens passed away, former Atlanta Hawks coach. Hall of Fame player and coach, remarkable, and he was a longtime figure here in Metro Atlanta. So I'll reflect on the on my relationship with Lenny Wilkens and the life and times of that Hall of Famer as both a player and the coach. Day 41 of the government shutdown. After the news at 9:30, we'll go back live to D.C. for the latest that. And could we see tariff dividend checks in the form of $2,000? That's what President Trump proposed. We'll check in with the White House correspondent John Decker on that. But day 41 of the government shutdown, it didn't even occur to me, Deborah, that our troops overseas, we've been focused on the folks in the United States proper that are not getting their paychecks. But U.S. troops overseas and the folks that work on those bases aren't getting paid either.
Yeah, so what they're saying is some of the civilian employees that work on those overseas military bases, they're not getting their paychecks, but the active duty personnel still are. So the soldiers that are active duty still, they're getting some. But, you know, if you're working on the base, you're probably not getting paid if you're just like a civilian worker. Which
makes it that much more stressful. So if you're working on a base here in the United States, you're at least in the United States. You know, all right, what am I going to do? I'm not getting paid. Oh, I can go to the pawn shop, or I can go to my credit union, like Clark Howard said, or whatever. You know, you're home. You're in the United States. But if you're in Italy or Germany or Asia on a base and you're a civilian, like that just adds to the stress.
Yeah, and sometimes you're limited to what jobs you can do when you're living overseas too. So this specifically talks about bases in Germany and what the department, the Army was saying, oh, you should go look at food pantries and find other ways to make ends meet.
Where do you find a food pantry in Germany?
I'm sure they do have
Yeah, of
them,
course, but-
you know, if there's a language barrier, I'm not, you know, if you're living there, maybe you've picked up the language, but sometimes there's a language
Tough.
barrier, and sometimes other countries do make it harder for non-civilians to get some of those benefits that civilians get.
Absolutely. So, you know, obviously it's horrible here in the U.S., but exponentially worse. Just the pressure of not getting a paycheck if you're in Germany and you're working on a U.S. military base. Last week, we went in depth on the H-1B visas and the $100,000 fee that is now being charged. This is another visa story, and I thought it was an Onion headline, Deborah. Apparently, visa applicants, applicants, that's the word, trying to get a visa to the United States might be turned down if they are fat. Is that real?
So you probably thought that because they use the word fat, right? And most places aren't going to use that
Obese.
word. Right. So yeah, the Trump administration ordered visas can be denied to immigrants who are obese or have certain health issues. They've sent this out to consulates and embassies, and they should really consider an applicant's health before they're coming in. So things like not just obesity, but cardiovascular disease, respiratory issues, cancers, metabolic issues, neurological issues.
Is it because they don't want them to
They're
abuse our
Yes,
medical
because
system?
all of a sudden that would be a drain on our already fragile medical system that doesn't help
Yeah,
enough
I get
here.
it.
And so they're thinking, well, you know, now just like it's hard for people overseas to get food banks in
Sure.
another country, it's hard for people that are immigrants here to get
But
some of
just,
the same health care.
I understand the argument. Like if you're dying from cancer and they come in and you don't have health insurance, but I understand that. But fat people, like I just watched that John Candy documentary. He's Canadian. Would you deny John Candy a visa because he's morbidly obese?
Well, it's not just, it's all the issues that go
Understood.
along with obesity.
Understood. I'm eventually going to need a visa to live in Japan. I don't want them to, you know, reciprocate and be like, sorry, Tubbs, you're too fat for our thin land, our thin island. That's interesting. All right, are we about to get $2,000 tariff dividend checks? John Decker, White House correspondent with that. Plus, we'll chat with Ed O'Keefe. Day 41 of the government shutdown. Is the end nigh? We'll find out from Ed in just a couple of minutes. Social media is up and active throughout the broadcast, at Mark Airman, at WSB Radio.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now. 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, more than 2 years after getting his mugshot taken in Fulton County, President Trump announces he is pardoning the allies who tried to overturn the 2020 election, including several who claim fraud right here in Georgia.
President Trump's proclamation says it pardons conduct related to any slate of electors in the 2020 presidential race and any conduct related to finding voter fraud. The list of dozens names all his Fulton County co-defendants, including Rudy Giuliani and Mark Meadows, as well as Georgia's fake electors who signed false documents claiming a Donald Trump win, even after 3 vote counts proved he lost to Joe Biden. The proclamation adds Trump is not pardoning himself. It's not clear if the pardons are meant to be preemptive on the federal level, since the president cannot pardon state crimes. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
It is 37 chilly degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says could be a record cold day around the metro area. The high possibly not hitting 40 degrees. Wind gusts should top 30 miles per hour today, ahead of a hard freeze tonight. Atlanta's most accurate, dependable forecast is coming up. The U.S. Senate today looks to move even closer to a budget bill to end the government shutdown, which is now 41 days long. Comes after a test vote gets the necessary 60 votes to pass, but political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns says it is far from popular with many in the Democratic Party.
Frustration is the word that we've been hearing because this didn't include any health care policy that they had been fighting for. California Governor Gavin Newsom called this a betrayal and a capitulation.
Both Georgia senators among the Democrats who voted against the plan, although Republicans insist they will be ready to negotiate the Democrats' demands of reinstituting health care tax credits after the government reopens. A celebration today in the city of Dunwoody, where major improvements have been made to its nature center.
The upgrades make it easier to explore and enjoy the natural surroundings.
Our Dunwoody Nature Center is I think it's kind of a hidden gem here in among some neighborhoods.
Dunwoody Public Works Director Michael Smith says there's a new boardwalk.
Higher above the water and is wider and accessible to people in wheelchairs and strollers.
They've also restored wetlands and stabilized stream banks, which improves the water quality and increases the habitat for wildlife. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
And for those pinching pennies because of the shutdown or just because of the economy in general, Georgia Tech is ranked among the top 5 most cost-effective colleges for tech careers. New study by data science educator DataCamp looks at 20 different colleges related to tech careers. It finds the University of Washington ranks as the best value institution. That's followed by Stanford. Georgia Tech ranks 3rd with more than 9,200 graduates in top tech companies with annual costs of just over $14,500. It is 9:33 as we check your money, and boy, word that the government shutdown could be ending sometime this week put a charge into Wall Street here on your Monday. All major indices well up, including the NASDAQ up over 1.5% so far, and S&P is up about 1%. The Dow is up more than 200 points at the moment. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd trying to focus in the jam cam on what is causing the delays on the west side perimeter on 285 northbound. The inner loop getting past South Atlanta Road exit 16. Delays quickly starting to grow. At least a lane blocked. We're going to find out what the cause of that is, but delays been now back before Atlanta Road, so already on and off the brakes almost a mile, and those delays will continue to grow until they can clear that to the shoulder. Crash working in Midtown Northside Drive southbound at Marietta Street, impacting lanes south of 10th Street and the downtown connector itself. Just volume 7585 southbound from 17th Street down to Williams Street. Northbound delays continue from I-20 through the Grady Curve. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold. High 39. Lows tonight in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, trending a little warmer. High 47. Daytime highs back in the 60s by Wednesday.
Just 35 degrees right now in Alpharetta, 36 in Lawrenceville, 37 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 East.
You don't have to sit in it.
It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 South.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
Family of 4 here, 4 kids. We were forced to kind of sleep in the airport.
Stranded traveler Day 41 of the government shutdown coming up next. We'll go live to D.C. for the latest on that. Plus, are we about to receive tariff dividend checks? We'll explain in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
It's essential, complicated, and if it breaks, you could have a disgusting mess. Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic, and the experts you hear on the Home Fix-It Show. Slow drains, gurgling sounds, or pooling water and odors in the yard? Don't ignore these symptoms. Call us today.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Call for more information.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. Are you worried that when the temperatures drop this winter in Atlanta, your old furnace is not going to keep you warm and toasty? Fear not. My friends at Reliable have an amazing preseason special right now on a new furnace. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month. Unbelievable. Plus 0 down, low monthly payments, and all future repairs, maintenance, even filters, no additional charge for life, plus an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Incredible. Reliable offers fast furnace repairs with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, 24/7 service, and next-day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Preseason furnace special going on right now for my pals at Reliable. I want you to book an appointment right now. Go to ReliableAir.com and click on the Book Now button. That's ReliableAir.com. Or call or text 770-594-9969.
Your friends at Steel Horse Law are motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They've mastered safely riding our Georgia roads, and they've mastered the unexpected twists and turns of Georgia law. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. With all the changes in Georgia law, you need the most experienced local motorcycle injury law firm to protect your rights. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Get a free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
4-year-old Mark Arum's favorite song by far. You heard this coming from the living room. He ran in there. Happy 56th birthday to Sesame Street. It debuted on this date, November 10th, 1969. Do your girls know the Sesame Street song, Longoria?
Yeah.
It's still a thing?
They watched it for a little bit, yeah.
It's on Netflix now.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm hoping the old ones are on there because I'd love to go back and watch those. Yeah,
absolutely. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going live to D.C. for the latest on day 41 of the government shutdown. Is there an end in sight? Right now, though, White House correspondent John Decker joins us on the show. John, it is very chilly here in Atlanta, but listeners may be warmed with the idea that they could be receiving a $2,000 tariff dividend check from the Trump administration. Is that enough to warm them, or should they put on a coat just in case?
It really is. Don't go expecting a check in your mailbox anytime soon. Don't count on that ahead of Christmas for your shopping. It's an idea the president simply put out on his social media, Truth Social, over the weekend. But the president does not have the power to order the Treasury to cut those checks. That is a power that is derived in Congress. And right now, there is no momentum in terms of getting those tariff checks out to the American public. So I think what the president's trying to do is he's anticipating what the Supreme Court may do, which is rule against him concerning his power to unilaterally impose tariffs on every one of America's trading partners. I think the president's trying to win over public approval on his tariffs policy, and one way to do it is to, get it so that the American public has skin in the game, in terms of having those tariff checks being in the mix for receiving them if the president gets his way. But I just would not count on that. That is something that would require legislation from Congress, and although there is a bill, that bill has languished in the U.S. Senate for quite some time.
Interesting. All right, so listeners, you might remember John was in the Supreme Court hearing those oral arguments for and against the sweeping Trump administration tariffs. So just trying to connect the dots here, John, from what we had heard from you in the reporting there and the questions that were being asked from both parties, President Trump might think that he is going to lose that tariff judgment by the Supreme Court, and this $2,000 tariff dividend is a way for him to, maybe point the finger at the Supreme Court and be like, if it wasn't for them, you'd all be getting $2,000.
Exactly. That's the way the president thinks. He's no dummy. Look, this is an idea that, believe it or not, you may recall, Mark, I proposed or suggested to the president back in late July, back on July the 25th, as the president was departing the White House on his way to Scotland. I suggested this idea of tariff rebate checks. At the time, he said, I hadn't heard that before. I love the idea. And that sort of got the ball rolling in terms of Josh Hawley, the Republican senator from Missouri, introducing legislation in the U.S. Senate. But that legislation does not have a lot of sponsors. It does not have a lot of momentum. And the president himself has said that if indeed there were some dividends associated with the tariffs coming into the country, it would first go to paying down the debt rather than first to the American public.
Yeah, I do remember that question you asked. I probably still have the audio somewhere. I'll try to find it and play it a little bit later on the show. Final quick question. Any idea when we're going to hear from the Supreme Court? Still looking before the end of the year?
Well, it's just a guessing game. They don't say we're going to put out a decision on this date or that date. But having said that, this is a fast-track case, so I would expect, Mark, a decision by the U.S. Supreme Court by the end of next month, which is the end of the year. So we're going to get a decision from the Supreme Court relatively quickly. And then if the Supreme Court does indeed rule against the Trump administration on this issue, then President Trump has to think about what is his plan B. So that is something that we'll certainly be paying a lot of attention to between now and next month.
And we'll find out if we get those John Decker tariff refunds from the president. John
Decker dollars.
Decker
That's right,
dollars. Great stuff as always. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I heard from some economists this morning talking about these dividend checks, tariff dividend checks, if we all get $2,000. And the worry is this would just flame inflation. You know, inflation started when we all got these COVID stimulus checks. Would that be a redo? But John sounded dubious that we're going to get those checks, which is bad for folks that are food insecure right now. A $2,000 check would go a long way. Speaking of food insecurity, Deborah, we're hearing from food banks, not just here in Metro Atlanta, but around the country, what they can and cannot accept if you want to donate to a food bank. Let's start with what they say. Hey, don't bring us this stuff.
Yeah, if you're maybe going through your pantry thinking, I can kind of clean some of this out and take it to a food pantry, there's things that you should not do. And one of them should be pretty obvious, but expired food. And not that you do that intentionally. Sometimes people just forget. They don't look.
Sanjay.
Really?
Oh, my. Every time I go, he gives me Sun Chips that expired 3 years ago.
Oh, all right. Well, don't take those to the food bank. Do not do that. Any cans that are dented or any packages that are damaged,
botulism.
They could have something like that. You can't take any refrigerated food because a lot of times they don't have the resources to keep everything refrigerated. They want
so if I have
non-perishables.
a pound of deli meat.
Right.
Can't bring that.
You just have to eat it at home.
All right.
So, also, no fresh produce either, because again, there's really not enough places for them to keep it all refrigerated or fresh. And depending on what it is, it can kind of go bad really quickly.
I know our resident farmer Longoria often has excess stuff from his garden: tomatoes, peppers, blueberries.
Nope.
Can't bring those to
Nope.
You can give those to families directly.
Yes.
You just can't give them to food
That's sad that you can't do that.
I know.
Yeah, they just don't have the means to hold on to it long for it. And then the last thing you can't take is glass jars. The glass is too hard to transport. It could break if somebody drops it.
So if I bring a 24-pack of glass-bottled Mexican Coke.
Nope.
Wow.
Got to be aluminum cans or tin cans. So those are the things you cannot take to a food bank.
All right. Do not let that deter you, though, donating to food banks, Atlanta Community Food Bank, or you can just donate monetarily, acfb.org. All right. Our continuing team coverage of the government shutdown, day 41 by my count. Joining us live in D.C., CBS News senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed, good morning, my friend.
Good to be with you guys.
Some light at the end of the tunnel, perhaps. We had some Democrats vote to maybe possibly consider a CR. How likely is that actually to come to fruition?
Yeah, CR, remember, a continuing resolution, nothing to do with Creedence Clearwater Revival or anything like that. 40 days and 40 nights it took, but it seems like we may be near the end of this. And essentially, you have now 8 Democrats voting with all the Republicans to this is a complicated one. Move 3 of the usually 12 bills it takes to fully reopen or keep open the government. So it's a partial government reopening in terms of getting full funding for the fiscal year, but it will functionally reopen the rest of the government as well. And in addition to that, there's an assurance that people who've been laid off by the Trump administration, federal employees over the course of the shutdown would have their jobs restored, and there'd be back pay for all the furloughed and essential federal personnel who've been working or not working during this impasse. So isn't the underlying policy thing that the Democrats were seeking, which was this extension of the tax credits that some people get for being on the Affordable Care Act? But with the fact that, and you guys know this well in Atlanta, air traffic and those that work in the airline industry, aviation industry, have been really saddled by all this and the potential that it disrupts the Thanksgiving holiday. Plus the fact that you saw the president and state governments playing with funding for SNAP in recent days, really putting the fate of 42 million Americans and whether they can pay for food in jeopardy, made these 8 Democrats join with the Republicans to say, we got to reopen this thing, keep moving along. It would keep the government open until January 31st. It does all those other things I mentioned. It fully funds the Agriculture Department and thus the SNAP program to the end of the fiscal year next September, as well as the VA, some of the VA projects, and ironically the legislative branch, so they get all their funding for new security and other things. And the fight continues on funding for the full fiscal year, basically for the rest of the government. The Senate Republicans say, you want to hold a vote on that tax credit extension thing, Democrats, that you were so desperately seeking, that we're so opposed to? You go right ahead. We'll hold that vote in December. You pick what exactly it's about. You'll get your up or down vote. It'll get rejected. But at least they'll have made their point. And it's leaving a lot of Democrats this morning kind of scratching their heads going, what was this all for?
Yeah, I certainly a lot of despair on certain sides on the left. You highlighted a couple things that I just want to quickly follow up, starting with the return of the fired federal employees. Is that something President Trump would be willing to sign on to? And, because, he wanted to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse, so he got rid of these workers during the shutdown. Will he be on board with bringing those workers back?
The White House says they're on board with this deal.
Okay.
So, yes.
Interesting. And the second was the ACA subsidies. Right. There's nothing in writing, right? It's just a handshake agreement that Republicans say, sign this, get this bill, get the government back open, and then we'll have negotiations when it comes to the ACA subsidies.
Yeah. And remember, everything happens in the Senate through consent, meaning all 100 have to agree to do it or to hold a vote. So if for some reason we get to December and Thune hasn't held that vote, you just see the Democrats hold up the rest of the Senate until they get it. But I think Thune understands that, given that it's mostly going to be an academic exercise anyway, because it isn't expected to pass, if they really want to have that vote, fine, let them have it. He'll schedule that at some point in December. And if he doesn't, then Democrats will find some other way to extract pain on Republicans, at least short term, in the Senate if he doesn't.
If this does pass the Senate, Ed, is it likely to pass the House once they get back in session, or could that be a whole nother can of worms?
It is a whole nother can of worms. Go ahead and find the can opener.
Great.
Because, first of all, you've got to make sure they can actually get back to Washington.
Yeah.
With the flight delays and cancellations we've seen, if you're a member of Congress out there right now, you probably want to be getting on a plane today to ensure you get back in time. And then there's a complicated question of, well, okay, what are we doing here? We're funding SNAP for the year. Okay, fine. We're providing funding for the legislative branch. Okay, fine, because that includes a lot of new security measures and things that members have been asking, threats they're all facing. You're funding the construction projects, so military, veteran hospitals and clinics, and that's an easy fine. So that's done. But will the House ever hold a vote on Obamacare subsidies idea? Probably not. And that might be a reason for Democrats to vote no. So then Speaker Johnson's got to turn to his Republicans and say, are you all on board with this? And they're going to be a handful who aren't, because there's new federal spending in there. They may have issues with the way SNAP is being funded, so they could vote no. He's going to have a headache on his hands that he'll have to sort out by the end of this week. But remember, the closer we get to next week, the more likely the shutdown continues to disrupt holiday travel, continues to disrupt the aviation industry, which disrupts so many other parts of the economy. And do you really want to be the lawmaker held responsible by your constituents for canceling Thanksgiving, for making it hard to get to grandma's house? Not necessarily.
No, indeed.
So, and also, as your Republicans, you've been saying, just vote to reopen the government, and then we can have that debate. So here's your chance to do that and hold that debate in December.
Ed O'Keefe from CBS, famously a glass half full kind of guy. Ed, great stuff. Great stuff as always. I appreciate your time, my friend.
Take care. Have a good week.
There you go. All right. So There's hope, but Ed seemed dubious that this is going to be smooth sailing once it clears the Senate and goes to the House. Speaking of air traffic delays, after the news at 10, we're going to go live to the world's busiest airport, get an update on the cancellation delays there. Right now, though, the delays are severe on the west side perimeter. What the heck is going on, Mike Shields?
Yeah, a crash involving a tractor-trailer and multiple right lanes blocked right now. It goes back and forth between 2 and 3 right lanes. 285 northbound, the inner loop just past South Atlanta Road, exit 16. Delays already over a mile back, starting at South Cobb Drive, exit 15. You can exit off there, take that north, and work your way up to I-75 if that's the way you're going, kind of the wide way through Marietta. Or before that, take I-20 east to the downtown connector north, then back onto I-75 northbound to avoid 285 northbound. This support is brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top techs and gaming gifts, shipping supplies, and services to get your packages there safely. Even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples, that was easy. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
Scott Slade from iRoofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but unsure about timing? FGA offers a free drone roof assessment. Get a quote and mention me and you'll get $1,000 off your quote. And the quote will be good for 12 months. Search FGA Roofing to book an appointment today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Sell your home with Mark Spain Real Estate and get the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is this the most famous rendition of God Bless America? Probably. You heard this on WSB Radio 87 years ago. Kate Smith sang her best remembered song for the first time on the radio, Irving Berlin's God Bless America. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Right after the news, we're going live to the world's busiest airport, get an update on the cancellations there. This impacts me 0%, Deborah, because I just don't go to Six Flags. I'm just not a ride guy. The food I'll go check out. Six Flags warning it could be closing some of its parks. That's big news.
Yeah, so beyond Six Flags over Georgia, they've got parks all over the country, and they just recently closed one in D.C. I think last week they made the announcement about it. But they're really kind of struggling. They've seen less people come through. I think they canceled some of their winter events. They used to stay open in the winter and decorate and everything. They've canceled some of that. And so they're thinking, well, really the only thing we can do is to close some of the underperforming parks, because they did kind of merge with another company. So they picked up that one in Ohio.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
big one. I can't remember the name
I know
of
who
it.
you're
Yeah, but they've
talking about.
merged with other ones. So they've got over 40 parks right now, and that includes parks in Texas or Canada and Mexico, along with the United States. Yeah.
So the Six Flags over Georgia seems safe
So
right
it doesn't
now.
give a list of which ones they might close. It just says underperforming ones. But I don't know how well Georgia's doing. I haven't
Listen,
been there in a while either.
If you look at my political platform, I've already given Six Flags away to profitability, which is, Deborah, what?
Well, you said free parking.
Yes.
Well, maybe they need to charge more.
No. Why? You want people to come.
Yeah.
Don't charge them to park. That's stupid. It should be free parking at Six Flags. You want people to come. Why? It's like free shipping on Amazon. If there wasn't free shipping, you'd order less.
I mean, it's already included in the cost, right?
Understood.
You just don't know it.
Yeah. So free parking at Six Flags. Problem solved. That's been on my political platform for years now. Come on, Six Flags. Wake up. Wake up. All right. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories, including a bunch of flight cancellations and delays at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Ryan Young from CNN at the airport joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Hey, it's Mark Arum. Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get their best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even the kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7. Your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now, 404-400-1170.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating and Air. The Senate meet next hour, and this after they voted to pass a funding measure marking a major step towards reopening the government. Alice Barr has more.
There is still work to do. If this funding package does pass in the Senate, it still needs to pass in the House. House members are not in town this week. They will get 48 hours notice if they need to come back to vote on a funding bill.
Now, 8 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus join Republicans in advancing the measure. It includes a stopgap measure to fund the government through January 30th. The vote broke a 40-day deadlock in the chamber after an agreement was reached that included a future vote on extending health care subsidies and assurances that federal workers furloughed during the shutdown would be reinstated. Again, the Senate meeting next hour. All right, your weather for today, a mix of sun and clouds, staying cold, though. A snow flurry or two is possible, but no accumulation expected, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Afternoon highs only in the 30s, around 39. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. And with this cold weather, warming centers are open to residents around the metro area as we are experiencing these frigid temperature. Centers in Atlanta, Gwinnett, Cobb, all offering warming locations for those in need. We have a full list at WSBradio.com. The Supreme Court has rejected a call to overturn its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices this morning turned away an appeal from a former Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the Supreme Court's 2015 ruling. Clerk Kim Davis had been trying to get the justices to overturn a lower court order that she pay $360,000 in damages and attorney's fees. There is a recall this morning that's a little bit alarming. More than 400,000 Honda Civics are under recall after the automaker discovered that a manufacturing issue may cause wheels to come off the vehicle while they're moving. This voluntary recall impacting the model years from 2016 through 2021 of the Honda Civic. Honda urging owners to take your car in to an authorized dealer for a free inspection, and if needed, the dealership will replace the wheels at no cost. The FDA recalling a baby formula that was sold nationwide after it's been linked to 13 cases of infant botulism in 10 states. All 13 babies ended up in the hospital. This formula is from By Heart Incorporated. It was sold online. So far, no cases have been reported here in Georgia. We have more information on that at WSBradio.com. And millions of us started our holiday shopping early this year, as we hear now from Vicki Barker.
Adobe says consumers spent $88.7 billion shopping online this past month. That's up more than 8% from last year. Adobe's Vivek Pandya.
We're still anticipating a decent clip of spending throughout the season, but this October period is especially heightened and accelerated.
Accelerated, he says, because consumers are bracing for more possible price shocks in the weeks leading up to the holiday season.
All right, while we're talking about your money, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's up 154 at 47,141. NASDAQ also in positive territory, up almost 2%, and the S&P's up more than a full percent. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. Things are going to get a lot better for that ride into Vinings. Clear to crash from the right lanes, 285 northbound past South Atlanta Road. All lanes are back open there, and all lanes back open on I-20 westbound near Lowry Boulevard as you leave downtown. Had a stalled camper, an RV that they pulled off to the side. And better news down in Fairburn. There's been a stalled tractor trailer stuck at the end of the exit ramp off of 85 South onto Sonoy Road. That was just pulled away. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold today. High 39. Wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. A hard freeze tonight with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, trending just a little warmer. High 47.
It is 34 degrees right now in Marietta. It's 35 in Doraville and Johns Creek. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The core four with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip, her screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Eric Erickson's going to join us live talking all things politics. We'll chat with author Mitch Albom in the next half hour as well. Breaking news from Capitol Hill. Speaker Johnson commenting on a possible shutdown breakthrough. Let's see if we can go live to Speaker Johnson talking to reporters right now on Capitol Hill. Speaker Johnson.
Repeatedly from the beginning, we have always been open to finding solutions to reduce the oppressive costs of health care under the Unaffordable Care Act. We just made clear that we would not and should not ever do that. That is, negotiate as hostages.
Right now, the Senate is reconvening to take a vote on ending the 41 record-breaking day-long government shutdown. And we here in Atlanta have felt the impact, certainly at the world's busiest airport. Joining us live from Hartsfield-Jackson International, our longtime friend and colleague from CNN, Ryan Young. Ryan, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I've been watching.
Instead of calling the Core Four, you should call it the Fantastic Four. I love it. What's going on, man?
I like that. The Fantastic Four. I've been on FlightAware for like the last 5 days, seeing how the delays and the shutdowns and the cancellations have been impacted by the government shutdown. You're there at the airport today. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we are sort of baked into this whole airport lifestyle, the world's busiest airport, so we're always watching it. If you're a traveler who hits here all the time, a business traveler, you'd actually be surprised about how slow it is here today. I mean, in fact, most of the security lines have a 2-minute wait time. I mean, these are almost like Christmas-like levels. They've got everything green, everybody's flowing through. Downstairs is open as well. There's 79 delays right now, 203 cancellations, but it seems like it's flowing, and people are sort of surprised when they pull up, but it's been so open and so flowing this morning so far. Yeah,
I texted one of my buddies that works for one of the major carriers down there this morning just to see, hey man, how you holding up? He said, I love it. It's so much lighter than normal. There's not that many passengers right now.
But look, at the same time, we see not so many passengers. One of the things that we have to remember is a lot of these folks have been coming to work for a while now without getting paid. So you do see some of the stress there. And also, I did talk to a traveler this morning who was actually stuck here last night. 2 delays, and then that followed up with a cancellation. And then this was a man and his family, and he basically said, look, I had to take a day off from work to even try to get back. Actually, take a listen to what he told me just a short few minutes ago.
You say you were delayed yesterday how many times?
3 times, and then we waited 3 hours. Then they canceled it last second. And it was a stressful situation. I got a 1-year-old. We had to find a hotel. All the hotels are booked because everybody's flights are canceled. Yeah. A big headache.
What are you hoping for today?
Hoping the flight goes out. I have no sick days. I had to call out today. So hoping I can get to work tomorrow.
Perfect. What's your name?
Sean.
Wow.
So and you think about Sean, and these flights these days, they're not cheap anymore, Mark Arum. It's not the days where we jump on a flight for $99 to $100. Most flights are pretty expensive. He was actually flying to New York, so that's one of the flight patterns you think would not be canceled from Atlanta. He wasn't flying Delta, it didn't look like. He was flying another air carrier. But at the same time, he was trying to scurry through the TSA line just to see if he could get on that flight to get back to work. And you don't have a lot of sick days. You don't have a lot of days to take off these days. You could feel the stress from his family. On the other side of that, some of these TSA workers have been here just wondering when they're going to be able to pay their bills. Look, we're not seeing it the worst. Mark, I wanted to bring this up. There was a ground stop in Dallas because of the shortage of folks working there in security and in air traffic control. So when you combine that, you can see that this airport, for whatever reason, hasn't had the same sort of impact, and that's good news so far as the travelers from Atlanta. And we see a lot of the green lights when it comes to travel for the rest of the day through this airport.
Yeah, I've been monitoring the airport security too, and that really, it's a breeze, which is one of my biggest concerns with TSA folks. Ryan Young from CNN joining us live at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. I am flying, hopefully, to New York Thursday evening, but that trip's in jeopardy because my wife's concerned we won't be able to get a flight home. And so I might preemptively just cancel this, even if my outgoing flight isn't canceled. Is there any talk of hope now that the Senate is, reconvening it, that this shutdown might end and these flight cancellation delays might end anytime soon?
Well, I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to see that this is going to be over in the near future, and maybe at some point that they'll be able to get a chance to be able to fly again. If you know that you're going to get paid the following week, maybe everyone starts showing up to work again. That's definitely a possibility for the folks who have been waiting to get paid. And so you get paid for the days that you're the back pay. Maybe that's a motivation for you to come into work. But, as you look at some of these lines and you look at some of the people, again, just think about the folks who've had to travel for family, who've had to jump on Amtrak, who've had to get on a bus. This has been a real hardship for a lot of folks across this country when we know people are squeezing dollars tighter than ever, because with this economy, you just can't spend freely like you used to.
Final question for you, Ron. As a high-profile CNN correspondent, senior correspondent, do you get free access to the Delta Sky Lounge while you're reporting down there?
I hope this helps me get in there, but no. As you know, Mark, because you've run to a few stories yourself, I never get to the airport in enough time to ever enjoy the lounge. I'm usually running from gate to gate. Except on personal travel, but one of these days, I've been in there a couple times. It'd be nice to get in there, or the Centurion Lounge over here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you do get access, go to the D Sky Club. The D Gate Sky Club is supreme. Ryan, great stuff as always, buddy. Thanks so much for your time.
Brother, always good to hear from you.
There you go. Ryan Young live at the world's busiest airport. He mentioned Amtrak, Deborah. Ted on Twitter tweeted at me because I don't know what to do about our trip. I know you don't care. This first world problems. I understand, but it's my wife's birthday. I want to make her happy, so it's important to me. Ted just screenshotted an Amtrak schedule for me, and he said you can leave New York on Sunday on an Amtrak and be in the city of Atlanta at 8:30 in the morning on Monday.
I might be cutting it a little bit close for work.
Well, Maya would be late for work, and I would be. Luckily the Amtrak station is within walking distance of WSB Radio.
Because you're going to walk?
No. Well, yeah, I could walk that. Come on now. But here, guess the price of one-way Amtrak ticket from New York to Atlanta, leaving Sunday morning, coming in Monday morning.
$250.
Coach is $370.
I looked into the train thinking it'd be kind of cool to take a train.
I would love to do that.
It's not much cheaper than flying.
It's not. If I want a private room, Deborah, $643 for a private room.
What's in the private room, though?
Champagne, confetti, girls with glitter on their face.
I'm just what makes it private?
Well, I guess it's instead of.
I know no other randos are in there, but is there anything else special?
I think it's like a European train, with the door that closes. You get that little private room. Like in Trading Places. Do you remember Trading Places where they had that little private room?
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year. I think that, anyway, $600, that's per person, I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know if I can't swing that. I feel bad for the guy that Ryan interviewed down there having to waste a sick day or a PT. Because if you're going on a Caribbean cruise, that's worth a PTO day. Being stuck in an airport that's a horrible waste of a sick day. That's not a PTO day. I feel bad for the folks down there. Deborah's going to update what the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had to say. But since we're talking travel, Chris Cleve is the CBS News senior transportation correspondent, updating what we've been seeing from Ryan and hearing from folks around the country.
Atlanta, the world's busiest airport, saw nearly 500 cancellations Sunday after just 4 of the 22 air traffic controllers scheduled showed up to work Saturday. The average delay hit nearly 5 hours. Dallas, Fort Myers, Florida, and all 3 of the New York City area airports were hit with staffing delays Sunday.
Family of 4 here, 4 kids. We were forced to kind of sleep in the airport.
Controllers are poised to miss a second paycheck this week due to the government shutdown.
What stood out to me there in Chris Van Cleve's report, talking about Hartsfield-Jackson, there were 22 air traffic controllers scheduled. 22. 4 showed up out of the 22. How they got any flights out is a miracle. That's crazy. Only 4 of 22. Let me check live right now. 218 cancellations at Hartsfield-Jackson International, 142 delays at Hartsfield. Transportation, Sean Duffy might have a solution. Deborah, what did he propose recently?
All right, so the Secretary of Transportation and Real World Boston castmate, Sean Duffy, is considering using air traffic controllers who are not certified just to kind of ease the tensions going on with the government closures, which could be a little bit risky. I don't know what the certification is.
Are those folks that have been in school?
It doesn't even say that. It just says not certified. Which, I mean, could I go over there and be like, yeah, I can read a map, I can do that? I mean,
I have no doubt you'd be an amazing air traffic controller, Deborah. You're calm under pressure, but you got to get the training first. You can't just come off the couch and go to the tower and
I've
be
seen
like,
Pushington.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you'd be phenomenal at it, but you need the level of training. You'd be a phenomenal brain surgeon, but you would, unless you don't like blood or. I think you're.
Oh no, I'm fine with blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you went to medical school and I was getting a tumor removed and I saw you as my doctor, I'm like, oh, all right, I'm in good hands as long as you're trained. I do. Let me get this. I'm going to call this breaking news, Longoria, if you don't mind. I have an idea for the air traffic controller shortage.
Where is Hector?
It just came to me. Even when the government shutdown is over, which hopefully is soon, we are still going to be short air traffic controllers, right? We've been talking about this for months, years. There's just not a lot of folks that want to do that job. It's a stressful job. You are in line for government shutdowns where you can go months without. It's a thankless job. I've got an idea. It just popped into my head. On today, the 250th birthday of the Marines, I might. Happy birthday to all that serve and have served. You can learn. Remember the recruiting videos, Deborah? When we were in high school, you can.
I remember the Army ones, be all you can be.
Be all you can be. You learn a career in the Army, right? Whether it's welding, or you could be a pilot, or you could be, be all you can be. We're going to train you for a career in the Army, in the armed forces. Why can't the Army train air traffic controllers? Why can't be that one of, because I'm sure the Army has need for air traffic controllers, right, at Air Force bases around the country, or heck, even an aircraft carrier. There's got to be someone in the tower be like, yeah, you're clear to land. You can't just fly blind. So maybe the answer to the air traffic controller shortage is let's start training folks in the military to do that job. And then you serve in the military, you get out, boom, you've got a career waiting for you. That's what most of the pilots in the WSB Skycopter, they were all ex-military. They went to the military, they learned how to fly, they retired from the military, and they went into the private sector, and you got a pilot's license to fly helicopters or airplanes. That's good. I think that's an answer to it. And who would
send that audio to the president?
Yes. I think that's a good solution. Let's start training air traffic controllers in the military. They serve their time. That sounds like a prisoner. They whatever the proper terminology is.
Wasn't the military having trouble recruiting as well, though?
But yeah, Vinny, check out what the average salary for an air traffic controller is. Starting salary and then escalation. That'd be a great recruiting tool. Hey, join the Army for 6 years. Serve your nation. We'll train you to be an air traffic controller. And then after 6 years, you're going to walk into a 6-figure salary. Man, I got to run for office. I got to do something. I keep coming up with these ideas.
Should I put that on your platform?
No, it's too many words on that. I like that idea. I also like traffic updates throughout the broadcast. Live with the latest, the incomparable Ashley Frasca.
Hello, hello. Really good news. Everything cleared up on that west side perimeter from an earlier crash that's still on the shoulder on 285 northbound past South Atlanta Road. Now rolling into a brand new slow zone out of Stockbridge on 75 south below Hudson Bridge, Eagles Landing, and got a tap of the brakes still out of Duluth. 85 south leaving 316. Traffic brought to you by Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola. Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola have partnered to give you the best of both worlds all under one special deal. Get your combo ticket at AtlantaIcons.com. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the common sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's November, the season for giving thanks. And let me tell you, I've got plenty to be thankful for. My family, my friends, and yes, my Aero Exterminators team member, Ken. Every time the holidays roll around, I'm reminded how grateful I am that my home is protected. While I'm busy making all the sides for Thanksgiving, Ken and the Aero team members are making sure there are no uninvited guests. The six-legged kind. Aero's been family-owned and operated for 61 years, and they treat their customers like family, too. They use the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available, all backed by a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. So this Thanksgiving season, give yourself something extra to be thankful for. A home protected by Aero Exterminators. Call for your free home or business pest inspection. Call 888-GO-AERO or visit aeroexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save big on eggs. Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are on sale for just $1.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
As we all start to ponder the things we're thankful for, how about sparing a thought for your faithful garage door? Protecting your car from the wind and rain, standing guard against hurricanes, and pelican poop. If crazy Uncle Mick ruins yet another dinner being overly thankful to a bottle of cheap hooch, how about you thank the hard-working garage door who's always there for you? Drive in and drive out. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. We can help you show some love by keeping your garage door healthy and happy. Clean and lubricate the tracks and rollers, or repair some old damage that gets on your nerves. And your door will stay loyal for years to come. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and treat him nicer than Uncle Mick.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Football season and True Atlanta Fashion Renters Warehouse going big by stuffing 24 football puns in one ad. Hope your radio's got good reception, folks. Now huddle up and listen to their pitch. If you manage your own rental property, time out, time to sack yourself and bring in backups, because giving the ball to Renters Warehouse Atlanta a much better option. Tired of fumbling around, playing defense, and penalizing your family by working overtime? They've got the playbook for success. So just hand off your property management to them and kick back while they tackle the grunt work. Their special special teams know how to handle the details and help you avoid the unnecessary roughness of managing a rental. They'll screen your tenants, make sure you receive the rent on time, and help you move maintenance calls to the sidelines. One extra point, once you see how Renters Warehouse Atlanta makes property management a snap, your happiness will spike. Don't take a knee. Take control. Go to rwatlanta.com today or call 404-662-2322. That's 404-662-2322. And that is good for Renters Warehouse Atlanta.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I'm so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. And Four Seasons Home Care was so helpful to my family throughout the process. I get emails from listeners all the time and why I trusted Four Seasons Home Care. They tell me I don't want just anyone to care for my parents. Well, of course you don't. So here's why I work with Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company. They vet and hire every single one of their caregiving specialists, and they don't farm out the care to contractors, and they're not some national corporation. So here's my advice, folks. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. Do your homework. This is a huge decision. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
To make it, really make it, as a surgeon, it takes major commitment.
Deborah could make it as a surgeon. That is Dr. Meredith Grey, also known as actress Ellen Pompeo. She turns 56 today. She was born the same day as Sesame Street. Happy birthday to Dr. Grey. She was, she's cute. She was Old School, where she played the love interest in Old School? Yeah, you don't remember. Anyway, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. All right, breaking news. Apparently my idea about air traffic controller, the Army already does it. They've got an air traffic controller program, but apparently not funneling enough folks into that line of work. So this is from GoArmy.com, and as air traffic control operator, you'll track aircraft such as jets and helicopters to ensure mission success while maintaining critical safe flight operations, etc. You have to be an enlisted soldier, an officer. No, you can't be an officer. Active duty, Army Reserve, Army National Guard, or entry level, be a U.S. citizen. 17 to 34 years old, have a high school diploma or GED. Vinny, once they graduate, what's the starting salary of an air traffic controller?
Once they graduate, we got them at $70,000 to about $90,000.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. That's a good start.
That is a good start. Apparently, though, also on Twitter, we have the smartest listeners. This is from Bridget. She says the military does train air traffic controllers. The problem is, just like all other jobs, the civilian sector requires a college degree or diploma on top of military training and experience. This has been an issue for decades. Thank you, Bridget. Well, Sean Duffy from Real World Boston, get rid of that requirement.
Yeah, I feel like your time in the military
That's
should be able to trump that, right?
equivalent
Like you have
to a diploma.
More experience
Yeah.
in the military than you do at a high school.
You're landing F-35s
Yeah.
that are traveling at the speed of sound, breaking the sound barrier. You can handle, a 747. All right, thank you, Bridget. Thanks to Waylon's dad. Also, hit me up on Twitter during the show. Just don't be mean. If you're mean, I'm going to block you. I have no problem blocking you. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. All right, we got big news out of the Supreme Court and all the big political news. Eric Erickson joining us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you starting to consider a new roof but not sure if it's needed or what it might cost? FGA Roofing offers their free drone assessment. You'll know if it just needs a fix, a rejuvenation, or a new roof. They'll quote you a price, and if you mention you heard about it on the radio, they'll take $1,500 off the quote, and that quote's good for a year. And with your good credit, you can take advantage of their 000 offer. 0 down payment, 0 payments for 18 months, and 0 interest. Take the first step now and set up an appointment. Google FGAroofing.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Whether it's a walk-in closet, master closet, or pantry, unlock the true potential of your storage areas in time for the holidays. Schedule your free design consultation today at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury this holiday season.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. We do have breaking news this morning from the Supreme Court. The nation's highest court rejecting a call to overturn its decision legalizing gay marriage. Jim Krasula has more.
The justices have rejected an appeal from Kim Davis, the former Eastern Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriages to same-sex couples after the 2015 Supreme Court ruling legalizing such unions. Davis has been trying to get the justices to overturn a lower court order that she pay $360,000 in damages and lawyer fees.
Now, Justice Clarence Thomas had urged his colleagues to overturn the Supreme Court's marriage decision, much as they did in 2022 when the High Court overturned the right to abortion. Your weather for today, a mix of clouds and sun, staying cold. A snow flurry or two is possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. No accumulation, though, and afternoon highs will stay in the high 30s, looking for a high of 39. Update on the government shutdown happening now. National Air Traffic Controllers Association President Nick Daniels holding a news briefing.
Congress must act immediately and end the government shutdown and ensure that all individuals who have not been paid during this prolonged closure receive their compensation.
Now, this is the second consecutive $0 paycheck for the nation's air traffic controllers. The Senate has voted to move ahead with the bill to reopen and fund the government. 7 Democrats and 1 independent joined Republicans. The new measure would not extend health care subsidies to stop health care costs from rising for many Americans, which is what Democrats had been fighting for. The Senate meeting next hour we'll be watching. The Tucker City Council weighing in tonight on proposed changes to downtown parking rules.
You're allowed to park for up to 4 hours in the city of Tucker on Main Street from Lawrenceville Highway to La Vista Road on weekdays between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Anyone in violation could face a $75 fine, according to the new proposal. Supporters say the change would result in more efficient use of parking spots. Tucker is expecting an increase in activity when a public green space opens this week. The city plans to unveil its new Town Green on Friday. It's a more than $8 million 2-acre park near Main Street. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Well, be extra careful this week if you're driving in Cherokee, Coweta, Fulton, Fayette, Gwinnett, or Hall counties. Georgia DNR and the University of Georgia researchers have compiled data to show when metro Atlanta counties can expect the peak of deer rut season. And according to the analysis, you do have a greater chance of hitting a deer in those counties this week. The peak expected between November 10th and November 16th. Deer breeding season lasts into December. And retailers have fought for years to slash their share of the cost for accepting card payments. Now a source tells Bloomberg this morning that Visa and MasterCard are nearing a new agreement that will attempt to settle a 2-decade legal spat.
Bloomberg has learned that the card companies will make changes to lower so-called interchange fees by an average of 0.1% over several years. The deal will also loosen rules requiring retailers to accept all Visa or MasterCard credit cards if they accept any from the network. Interchange fees are a key driver behind the customer rewards on premium cards. Much of those fees are passed on to the banks that issue the cards. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
As we check the markets this morning, the Dow's in positive territory. So is NASDAQ and the S&P. NASDAQ's up more than 2%. The S&P's up more than a full percent. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
East Point police have arrived on scene of a crash. It looks to be knocking out 2 left lanes on 285 southbound to the outer loop just past Camp Creek Parkway, exit number 2. That may delay your trip just by a few minutes trying to exit there if you're headed to Hartsfield-Jackson International. And a little bit slow merging on to 75 south from 675, trying to get down through Stockbridge to Hudson Bridge. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold. High 39, lows tonight in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, trending a little warmer, high 47. Daytime highs back in the 60s by Wednesday.
Partly cloudy, 35 degrees in Canton. It's 36 in Brookhaven. Vinings, you have 36 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard, 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Congress must act immediately.
That's
and
Nick
end
Daniels, president of the
government
National Air Traffic Controllers Association. Coming up next, day 41 of the shutdown, and breaking news out of the Supreme Court. Eric Erickson live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Veterans Day is November 11th, and Findlay Roofing honors our local vets. Who's the bestest boy, Rufus? Dave Baker here. Right now, veterans get a special $1,500 discount on roof replacement, and 0% financing is available. FindlayRoofing.com.
The load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty.
50 years ago today, the ore hauling ship, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, and its crew of 29 vanished during a storm in Lake Superior. Gordon Lightfoot made the incident a famous song. Can we hear this on 97.1 The River, Deborah, or is this not in the...
Every once in a while, you might hear this on 97.1 The River.
There you go. Welcome back to the Mark Aram Show, 1037. Really busy breaking news day. Joining us live as he does every Monday at this time, our good friend Eric Erickson. Eric, hope you had a great weekend, buddy.
I did. I won money in Vegas.
I saw you were traveling. Let's start there. Did you experience any flight cancellations or delays, or were you private?
No, but so I was taking a buddy of mine from D.C. with me, and his flights to and from Baltimore were delayed. Not bad on the way out, but an hour late on the way in. From Atlanta on Delta, everything was fine. Getting through the airport and stuff, it was a little bit more hassle. And in Las Vegas, everything was fine. You would have never known the government was shut down. Most flights were delayed a little bit. Delta was fine. They had cut some other flights. Like there was a flight to Salt Lake City from Las Vegas. They canceled another one, and all the Delta flights were on time.
All right, so we might have agreement. The Senate has reconvened. 8 Democratic senators have switched their vote, apparently, to end the government shutdown, and it's causing quite the rift inside the Democratic Party.
Yeah, listen, it is. They've gone for 40 days and they've got nothing, and that's essentially it. There's a plan to reinstate laid-off workers, which was going to happen anyway because they were laid off, not fired. So they're claiming that that's a win, but it's not really a win. And then the Senate Republicans promised they will give a vote on some health care provisions that don't have the votes to pass the House. So they can get something past the Senate. It's going to die in the House. So they really essentially have got nothing after 40 days of a shutdown.
Big loss, I would imagine, for at least a certain segment of the Democratic Party. But if the government shutdown ends, big win for the American people?
Yeah, I think so. Look, SNAP benefits, they're running out of money. It's got to be funded. There are airports in the nation that are having problems. Atlanta's actually having issues. And, so I was playing golf on Saturday, and there was an air traffic controller there with his wife who were making the most of the government shutdown. He had vacation days anyway. And the wife was talking about how they live in Dallas, and she has been working with local businesses trying to find help for a lot of the younger air traffic controllers, some of whom are just married, some have kids. This guy's about to retire. He's been there for a while, and she says the local Chick-fil-A in Dallas stepped up and was providing free meals for the families. Banks were being supportive so that people didn't have to go to food pantries. But she says it's for the young people who got a job in the federal government. A lot of them were like, why am I working for this place?
We heard from Speaker Mike Johnson. He is on Capitol Hill. He's given all the House members 36 hours to get their tush back to Washington, D.C. Do we have a timeline on when we think this government shutdown could actually end?
So they're going to pass the clean resolution in the Senate, it sounds like, which will technically reopen the government because the House has already passed it. And then there will be some add-ons that get passed through the House and the Senate. And if they can't get the rest of it done and keep their promises, well, the government shuts down again in a couple of months.
Will the House pass this, though, whatever the Senate comes up with?
Yeah, the House is going to pass the basics, but they're not going to pass some of the health care stuff the Democrats want, and all the Democrats can do is say we want to vote on it. So they're going to get a vote on it, but the shutdown itself is going to end, it sounds like, from the deal. But then there's no guarantee that the House will pass the rest of what the Democrats said they wanted.
We'll revisit things on January 31st when that expires. Breaking news out of the Supreme Court this morning. Eric, Supreme Court declines to revisit the landmark same-sex marriage precedent. Your reaction to that, and is this issue over now, or could there be more arguments brought before the Supreme Court?
So literally no sane person has thought they would revisit it, but it was a way for Democrats to scare people about the Supreme Court and get people whipped into a frenzy. But even Clarence Thomas in some of his writings has signaled that while he thinks the court got Obergefell wrong based on where they placed gay marriage in the Constitution, he thought that there was room for gay marriage in the Constitution. So no rational human being really thought this was going to happen, but Democrats have gotten whipped into a frenzy about it.
Is it the weakness of the case that was brought before it, or just this issue is...
Yeah, so the case itself was weak. It involved the clerk in Kentucky who refused to perform gay marriages and was essentially arguing that Obergefell not only impacted her religion, but also went too far in legalizing same-sex marriage. And the Supreme Court just declined to take the case, but it's a pretty big signal. They have no interest in revisiting Obergefell.
Eric Erickson joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, bringing it back to Georgia. Axios headline over the weekend, Senate Republicans slam Governor Brian Kemp over shutdown ad. What's going on here?
Kemp wants to win. He's got Derek Dooley as his guy. His super PAC is backing Dooley against Collins and against Carter. Carter and Collins, of course, are incumbents. The polling data suggests voters want people who aren't from Washington. Mike Collins, however, is leading the Republican field right now, and they got to do something to distinguish Dooley from the rest of them. So playing it up as an outsider who wouldn't be involved in shutdown politics is the way to go. Republicans in D.C. can make big hay out of it, but this is how you do politics.
Will there be any political backlash against Governor Kemp for doing this and calling out Carter and Collins?
He doesn't care.
Okay.
Maybe there will be backlash, but at this point he's done. He doesn't care. He's trying to get Dooley across the finish line. I'm not sure that Dooley can overcome Mike Collins, but they're doing their best to see if it's possible.
Interesting. And I don't know if we talked since those AJC UGA poll numbers came out on the Democratic race. Keisha Lance Bottoms, former Atlanta mayor, with over 40% of the votes right now. Still a bunch undecided, but running away with the Democratic nomination. I was shocked by that number.
But it's name ID, and so most of the people who vote are in the metro Atlanta area, so they know her name. The Republicans are salivating at the idea that it could be Keisha Lance Bottoms. They find her to be easily beatable, and I think they're probably right because she will alienate a lot of suburban voters and rural voters. But again, this is a name ID poll right now. It's not really a who's ahead. It's the who have people heard about the most.
Do you think there's a chance for someone to come, if it's a Mike Thurmond or Jason Estevez, anyone else to come, there's still a lot of time left, but to be at least a strong number two behind her?
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Democrats begin to rally to Jeff Duncan, the former Republican lieutenant governor, just because they're hungry. They want to win badly. And he has won statewide as a Republican. He's anti-Trump, so he could get suburban voters. The problem for Duncan, though, is that he was the guy who pushed the fetal heartbeat ban, so progressives will hate him and probably not want to give him the nomination. Big question is, where's Stacey Abrams? She's awful quiet. She could weigh in and be the kingmaker.
A couple of weeks ago, Georgia senators voted against their Democratic counterparts to pay military folks during the closure, but Ossoff Warnock did not join the group yesterday. They voted no for the CR resolution in the Senate. They were not among the 60. Lose-lose situation from my vantage point for these two.
Yeah, it is. Listen, John Ossoff reportedly behind the scenes has complained that if he votes to reopen the government, he's going to get savaged by progressives. If he votes to do nothing, he's not going to get challenged in a primary, and it could hang over his head in the general. I don't think Ossoff has played this well, and I think that vote is going to come back to bite him in a general election.
So if you are advising the Ossoff campaign, put on your political advisor hat, what do you think he should or should not do when it comes to the shutdown?
I would vote to reopen the government and presume to be reasonable, because the odds are the Democrats can make sure nobody runs against you in the primary, but you've inoculated yourself from Republican attacks in the general.
Interesting. What's coming up on the show today, my friend?
We'll start with the shutdown politics and just the insanity of it, but there's a lot more today, including now Mamdani, now that he has been elected. I don't know if you heard this. His first action was to go hang out with the unindicted co-conspirator from the 1993 World Trade Center bombing.
Ew. Interesting bedfellows there. All right, Eric's back from Vegas, flush with cash. We'll be listening noon to 3.
I am actually. I won a lot off $500.
All right. Don't tell Chuck. He's going to want a piece of that action. All right, Eric, I'll be listening noon to 3 here on WSB. When we come back, Mitch Albom, author, Tuesdays with Maurice. He's going to join us live on the Mark Arum Show. Right now, though, it's Mondays with Frasca. Back live to the 24-hour traffic center and the incomparable one.
Thank you, Mark. Looking at delays on the west side perimeter, 285 southbound below 166 Campbellton because of a crash in East Point. 2 left lanes are blocked just past Camp Creek Parkway. That's going to slow your ride trying to head to Hartsfield Jackson. You can go through downtown. That southbound ride on the connector is a good one. Just cleared trouble off to the right, though, 75-85 northbound before I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Tuesday on Atlanta's Morning News, we'll mark Veterans Day across metro Atlanta and the country. What follows the government shutdown, and how long will it stay this cold? I'm Chris Chandler. We start at 5 on 95.5 WSB.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule a free inspection with AquaGuard, a Groundworks company, and tell them Mike sent you.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Will my hair really grow back? Do I still get to have a birthday party? Can my teddy come into the machine with me? Will you stay with me tonight, Mommy?
Every day, kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta ask questions they should never have to. By giving today, you can help us answer them. With your support, our kids get the care and treatment they need, and even a birthday they'll never forget. Give to Children's for that. Donate today at choa.org/give.
Hi, it's Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack. Bigger isn't always better. Don't let the big companies fool you. Atlanta Ramjack is the leader in foundation repair. Whether it's residential or commercial, Ramjack is the most reliable, technically capable company in the business. Our staff has the most experience in solving difficult foundation problems. No one can match our expertise in foundation repair. Ramjack fixes the issues other companies can't. Go to atlantaramjack.com to set up your free estimate.
Some friends one time sent my wife and me Omaha steaks for Christmas, and they sent it to our old house. We had moved out of it and not yet sold it. Went to the house. I could smell the steak before I saw it. Didn't know who sent it to me. Called Omaha Steaks. Not only did they send me a brand new package to my house, they told me who had sent it to me so I could send a thank you note. It was incredible customer service. And I've been sending gifts from Omaha Steaks because how great their customer service is ever since. You can get the Sizzle All the Way sale right now, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, and you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. You can get incredible options. My wife began her love affair of caramel apple tartlets with that package. Omaha Steaks sent to us. You can, too. Get the fillets, get the New York strips, omahasteaks.com, 50% off right now, the Sizzle All the Way sale, $35 off extra with promo code ERIC at checkout, minimum order required, omahasteaks.com.
Rates are continuing to get better, and lots of folks are taking advantage of them by calling Myland. This is Scott Slade. Access the equity in your home with a home equity line of credit or cash-out refinance. Then use the equity in your home to pay off high-interest debts, student loans, basement or kitchen remodels, or anything else you need. These guys and gals are the best I've seen, and that's why I've been recommending them for over a decade. Local experts you can trust. Why would you call anyone else? Every month, MyLend closes a loan that other lenders just can't do. Also, MyLend wanted me to let you know they're still growing, currently hiring for their incredible sales team. If you or someone you know might be interested in joining one of Atlanta's premier mortgage lenders, give them a call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
Welcome, friends, to Wool Hat season. Yeah, the temperatures drop, the wool hats come out of the closet, put them on your noggin, and then when you take them off, do you have hat head, or do you have a receding hairline or bald spots or thinning hair, and you really don't have hat head anymore? It's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Advanced Hair. I want you to check out their amazing treatment. Simple one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want to get your hair back and have hat head be a thing again, now's the time, and Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, fellas, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Online at advancedhair.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
10:53 on the Mark Arum Show. Yeah, it is chilly out there. Christina Edwards' full 5-day forecast just minutes ahead here on 95.5 WSB. Coming up next hour, we've got new polling out on what Americans think about the current state of the economy. This is a heartwarming story. In the midst of the government shutdown, a pet store is making sure pets don't go hungry. CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz has the story.
The shelves at Pet Evolution in Folsom, California are packed with pet food. But owner Karam Masood says he's worried that isn't the case in some homes of pet owners.
Nobody should have to decide if they are going to eat or if they're going to feed their pet.
So he began a pet food drive, collecting pet toys and unopened pet food to donate to local shelters and struggling families.
I mean, I've got the bin already full. I've got bags even hanging out now.
He says the response has been overwhelming.
I get emotional every time I even just think of this.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
That's not, I mean, if you think about folks that are laid off or furloughed or government workers that aren't getting their money, they can't afford to pay their food bills, let alone their pet food bills. So don't worry about it, Vin. Don't worry about it. I got to talk to Deborah here. We'll talk in the news break. Deborah, speaking of dogs, top dog names. Is Daisy on this list? Because you remember I was critical of Longoria naming their dog Daisy.
Daisy, a very popular dog name. In fact, it is the 15th most popular dog name in the United States.
What did you say again? Say that again.
15th.
15th.
Daisy.
Daisy.
Fifth.
Fifth.
See, you're basic. Your dog is basic.
No, it's not. It's
yes.
fifth.
It's like naming
Where's your dog's name on the list?
No, it's not on there.
Oh.
I'm the only person in the world who named their dog Soba.
Yeah, I'm sure.
After a noodle.
yeah.
What did we? What were the other suggestions for Longoria's dog's name?
Oh, what
Lego.
were they?
Lego.
Yeah,
There was
Lego.
what? Lego. Trudy was one of them.
Trudy.
Yeah.
Trudy from Facts of Life?
yes. Trudy from Facts of Life. No, there was a restaurant in Austin named Trudy's.
Oh, all right. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, most popular dog. So if your dog's name is on, or just pet, is his pet or dogs?
It's dog,
Dogs.
yeah.
If your dog's name is on this list, you're basic.
All right, so Max, which I know a lot of people have dogs named Max. Also Bailey, Sadie, Cooper. This one kind of threw me off. Rosie. I think of a robot named Rosie, not so much a dog named Rosie. Daisy at number 5. Number 4, our old coworker Charlie, 4th most popular dog name.
I could see that.
Charlie.
They're not. These aren't bad. Keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Number 3 is Lucy. Number 2, Bella. And the most popular dog name in the United States is Luna. Like the moon.
I almost named my daughter Luna.
That's a pretty name for a girl.
Yeah, almost named her. Livia would have
My
been Luna.
dog's name's not on this list either.
Harold? What was the name of your
Chester.
dog? Chester. I knew it was some old man name.
It's named
Of
after a
all those
sports team.
names, again, I don't want to. You love your dog. I'm not going to be critical. A little bit critical. Max is the only dog name that I think breaks through out of the pack. Twins, Max. Twins.
That was my first dog's name, Max.
Max? Was it because of twins?
It was
Max?
not. It
Twins.
was not. I was too young to know that.
Yeah, I've Soba, Bosco, and Deuce. Chris Chandler, by the way, named Deuce. I should give credit where credit is due. Yeah, and it was not because he drops a deuce, but it was my second dog.
Oh, okay.
Deuce.
Yeah.
And then Soba.
Kinda like Trey.
We're going to adopt another dog
Nice.
after Christmas. That's another thing. Quick update. A new study pours cold water on President Trump's advice to pregnant women, warning of a possible link between a popular painkiller and autism. Vicky Barker has more from London.
The British medical journal fast-tracked publication of this study to provide prospective mothers and their doctors with reliable information. This after the Trump administration's guidance that paracetamol, also known as acetaminophen or Tylenol, may raise a pregnant woman's risk of having a child with autism. In their umbrella review, the researchers conclude that the quality of the few papers which indicated that link ranged from low to critically low. Any apparent link between the painkiller and autism, they say, is probably explained by family genetics and other factors. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
There you go. I'm trying to get reaction from our health reporter, Sabrina Cupid, on that report study, but she's being shy. Can't see her face. Sabrina has your news, weather, and traffic at 2. When we come back, updating our top local stories. And are we seeing movement in D.C. to end the government shutdown, which currently stands at day 41. Social media is up and active throughout the broadcast at Mark Ehrman at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
2 homes, same street, same layout, but one had an orchard sign and sold for a whole lot more. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and here's why that matters. The first seller went the traditional route. Weeks of showings, price drops, frustration. In the end, they settled for less. The second seller chose Orchard and got ahead. Their agent knew what buyers wanted, made smart upgrades, and marketed the home like a pro. It sold fast and for top dollar. And here's the kicker. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that seller had already moved into their new place before the old one even hit the market. No last-minute cleanings, no strangers walking through during dinner, no stress. You're not stuck. You don't have to wait. You can move now and still sell for more. Start your free home valuation today at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk, leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win. You lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
If you need a furnace, think of Reliable with unbeatable lifetime warranty and only $59.99 a month. It's getting cold out there. Don't be a turkey this Thanksgiving. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Reliable Heating Air wants to keep you warm and feed you too with free Turkey Tuesday. Every Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, listen to my show for your chance to win a free Thanksgiving turkey courtesy of Reliable Heating and Air, the name Atlanta trusts when it's time to turn on the heat. Stay cozy, save energy, and keep your oven and your furnace cooking this holiday season. Visit ReliableAir.com to schedule your furnace check today.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. As the Senate gets ready to meet to talk about a possible end to the government shutdown, this just in. The Trump administration again asking the Supreme Court to keep full food aid payments on hold. The request this morning is the latest in a legal fight over how the program that helps 42 million Americans buy groceries should proceed during this government shutdown. Lower courts have ordered that the government keep all the money flowing. The justices are expected to decide Tuesday whether to halt those orders amid signs the shutdown could soon come to an end. And as the government shutdown is continuing this morning, travelers facing issues at airports all across the country. Nick Daniels is the president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. He says that controllers are having problems even getting to work now.
They can't pay for gas to get to work. That we have trainees that have moved hundreds, if not thousands of miles across the country to the highest cost areas of living and now can't even afford to go to work, or they can't afford the child care to come into work.
The FAA called for a reduction in flights to reduce the strain on air traffic controllers who have been working without pay. Your weather for today, mix of clouds and sun, going to stay cold. Afternoon highs around 39, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A bid to overturn the right to same-sex marriages has been rejected by the Supreme Court this morning. The justices declined to take up the appeal from a former Kentucky county clerk. Clerk Kim Davis to overturn the 2015 landmark decision. Davis received national attention when she refused to issue marriage licenses to a same-sex couple due to her religious beliefs. One of those couples was awarded damages by a jury after they sued. The city of Tucker considering changes to downtown parking rules as it expects increased activity when a public green space opens later this week.
Tucker City Council members weigh in tonight on a proposal that includes a $75 parking fine. That's for anyone who parks in a space on Main Street from Lawrenceville Highway to La Vista Road for more than 4 hours. The rule would be in effect weekdays between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. The city is making way for more traffic with its $8 million Town Green grand opening set for Friday. The 2-acre park is near Main Street. Supporters say the parking rule change would help optimize the use of parking spots. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
From Tucker to Woodstock now, where the city will hold a public discussion tonight on e-bikes. Stacey Brown is with the city of Woodstock.
Our city council and staff have been hearing a lot of questions and complaints from residents about increased e-bike use.
And she says council members have discussed growing safety concerns related to higher speed or modified e-bikes operating on sidewalks and trails, especially near pedestrians. The public input meeting is set for tonight at 7 o'clock in the chambers at City Center there in Woodstock. The FDA recalling a baby formula that was sold nationwide after it's been linked to 13 cases of infant botulism in 10 states. All 13 babies did end up in the hospital. The formula is from ByHeart Incorporated. It was sold online. So far, no cases have been reported here in Georgia. We do have information at WSBradio.com. The FDA is making a big change when it comes to guidelines to hormone replacement therapy for women going through menopause. The FDA is now removing the black box warning from those medications, which suggested that they could cause an increase in breast cancer.
There was no statistical significance, and no subsequent clinical trial has ever shown an increase in breast cancer mortality. And look at the long-term health benefits. The reduction in cognitive decline, in heart attacks.
That is FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. He says the black box warning labels were based on what many experts now considered flawed research on hormone replacement therapy from more than 20 years ago. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 2 at 46,984. NASDAQ is in positive territory, up almost 1.5%, and the S&P is also in the green. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Got a few trouble spots on 285. There is a crash, 285 northbound, the inner loop between South Atlanta Road and Paces Ferry Road, holding 2 right lanes right now, so expect a few delays as you head up toward Vinings. Better news heading through East Point toward the airport. Crash moved off to the right, all lanes open. 285 southbound, the outer loop below Camp Creek Parkway, exit number 2. And a few brake lights on the south side through Stockbridge, 75 south, a little sluggish, leaving 675 down to Jodico Road, exit 222. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold today. High 39. Wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. A hard freeze tonight with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, trending just a little warmer. High 47.
36 degrees in Roswell. It's 40 in Covington. College Park has 38 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
10:05 on this extremely busy, chilly Newsday Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in just a couple of minutes. How do Americans feel about the economy right now? We're going to talk to Mark Niquette from Bloomberg News. I mentioned it's a very busy news day. Right now, the Senate is reconvening after a breakthrough vote to end the record-setting government shutdown. Day 41 of the government shutdown. We've already been to D.C. twice. We talked to Eric Erickson about that. Any developments on the possible breakthrough, the end of shutdown, you will hear them live throughout the day here on 95.5 WSP. Quick housekeeping note. Apologies to the listeners and to author Mitch Albom, who was supposed to join us last segment. We had some technical difficulties. Couldn't get the Mitch on. No, that's Mitch Evans, the Mitch. We're going to try to reschedule Mitch Albom. He's always a fun dude to talk to. He's got a new book out, so we'll try to reschedule that. So apologies to all the Mitch fans out there, and apologies to Mitch himself. We will reschedule and get him back here on the Mark Aram Show. I do want to talk about this story. We haven't even touched upon it yet. President Trump, you might have heard it on Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler, has pardoned dozens of former aides, attorneys, and others who were involved in the effort to overturn the 2020 election results. CBS's Nancy Cortez reports from the White House.
Some of these individuals were involved in conversations about pressuring state legislatures or about submitting alternate slates of electors after former President Joe Biden defeated Trump in the 2020 election. This document appears to have been signed by the president on Friday. It says, quote, "This proclamation ends a grave national injustice perpetrated upon the American people following the 2020 presidential election."
There are a couple of big names on that pardon list, including Rudy Giuliani and Burt Jones. Kevin Liptak at the White House this morning. More on the Trump pardons, which apparently were signed on Friday.
They're not saying more at this point, and you're right, this is quite a lengthy list, 77 names in all, many of whom will be familiar to anyone who's been kind of following this saga for the last 5 years. The president's pardon attorney posted the paperwork on social media last night. I think it's important to note that none of the names have actually been charged with a federal crime. So in a lot of ways, this is a symbolic move, but it still just underscores President Trump's efforts to kind of rewrite the history of the 2020 election. And I'll just read for you a little bit of the sort of preamble, which is pretty striking when it describes its intent here. It says, "This proclamation ends a grave national injustice perpetrated upon the American people following the 2020 presidential election and continues the process of national reconciliation." And just to tick through some of the names here, Rudy Giuliani, of course, the former New York City mayor who helped lead the effort to pressure states to reject Biden's victories. You also have Sidney Powell, who's the conservative attorney who worked with Giuliani, Mark Meadows, who was the president's chief of staff at the time, Jenna Ellis, who also worked closely with Rudy Giuliani, Boris Epstein, who's a longtime Trump advisor. You have John Eastman and Kenneth Chesebro, who were two attorneys who helped kind of devise the strategy of pressuring Mike Pence to try and overturn the election on January 6, 2021. And Burt Jones, who's the lieutenant governor of Georgia and who was also a fake elector after the 2020 election. And so, although none of these names are charged with federal crimes, many have actually been charged in individual states, and the president cannot reverse those charges. And obviously, this is not going to do anything to reverse Rudy Giuliani's pretty significant legal and financial issues, in particular when it comes to those two Georgia election workers who filed a defamation suit against him. And so, a significant step, but a symbolic one as well, and it would also preclude future administrations from trying to go after these individuals. Now, the pardon specifically states that it doesn't apply to President Trump himself, but it does apply to this broad swath of people, as it says, any U.S. citizen who attempted or provided advice or support or voting for slates of proposed presidential electors, end quote, any conduct relating to their efforts to expose voting fraud.
Kevin Liptak at the White House this morning. Some names that I'd forgotten about. Sidney Powell, remember her? She gets the pardon. John Eastman, former law professor. Jenna Ellis, we're very familiar with here in Georgia. Kenneth Chesebro, Boris Epstein. Names I had totally forgotten about. And I think it was important what Liptak mentioned there was the fact that the president can't pardon you for state charges, just federal charges. But it does give them blanket protection if, for some reason, a future Democratic president wants to go after them. But I did not see that coming. Did not see those pardons coming. President Trump, he was at the, you weren't watching football, Longoria. President Trump was at the Washington Commanders game yesterday. And he was the first president to go to a regular season NFL game since Jimmy Carter in like 78.
Really?
Yeah.
They always just go to Super Bowl.
They go to the Super Bowls or playoff games. But it was actually kind of a funny moment. They were like, they had President Trump do like play-by-play. It was if it's on YouTube, find it. It was a fun little moment there.
I know that he wasn't, but I would have loved to have seen him in like full face paint, yeah. Like that would have been fun.
Or the Washington Commanders jersey. Well, he does want the new Commander Stadium named after him. But anyway, more pardons there. All right, quickly, we got food delivered here. Shout out to Jack's New Yorker Deli. Vinny, he loves the turkey sausage, egg, and cheese, so we got to get it there. Apparently, though, well, I'm not going to say apparently. The question, Deborah, is, are delivery apps killing restaurants?
Yeah, it looks like food delivery apps are actually hurting restaurants more than helping. About 3 out of 4 restaurants say that most of their food is now eaten off-site.
3 out of 4?
Yep.
Wow.
So in your traditional sit-down restaurants, not
Yeah.
in your fast food, because they're used to drive-thrus, right? These are like a casual dining, like a Chili's or an Outback or something like that. More food is now delivered than people coming in and sitting down. Now, this was great during the pandemic because it was a way for those places to stay open. Now they're saying it actually costs more for them because you want to be on every delivery app. You can't just be on one, which costs them money because they have to pay to be part of that. And then their tips usually aren't as high as you would be at a sit-down
But they can charge more for, like, I got a
They can, but then people will see, well, it's cheaper for me to order at this place than it is to order at that place. So yeah, they're actually getting a lot of strain.
Maya and I, we were going to go out to dinner, but it was windy and cold. She's like, let's just order it. So I ordered a giant chicken parm sub from Nikki's Undefeated in Tucker. And it costs more on the app than it does in store. But it's not just the fast casuals that are on those, at least on Uber Eats. That's the preferred food delivery app of this tubby guy. But you can get, like, Buckhead Life is on there, like Preachy, which is fine dining, Atlanta Fish Market. But I don't think you can survive in the restaurant business right now if you're not on those delivery apps. Interesting stuff. All right, it's a catch-22. It's changed my life. I grew up where the only food you can get delivered to your house was pizza or Chinese, and now I can literally get anything delivered to my house. I wonder if Mark Niquette from Bloomberg News feels the same way. Mark, welcome to the Mark Arum Show. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
Are you a hyper user of the food delivery apps, or you don't touch them?
I am not, actually. I'm kind of, I guess, old school or dinosaur ways, where if I have it delivered, it's by pizza delivery or the old-fashioned way.
There you go. You don't want to talk about food delivery, though. We want to talk about new poll numbers when it comes to how Americans feel about the economy. This was up live this morning on Bloomberg.com. Let's get to it. Americans happy or unhappy with the state of the economy right now?
Unhappy. We've seen a lot of consumer surveys, including a poll we have conducted with Harris Poll that show that consumers are uneasy about the labor market. They're not happy with the direction of the economy, and they're also worried about their jobs and unemployment increasing going forward. And there's a caveat to that where if you're a higher income household, particularly if you're invested in the stock market, you are pretty happy with the direction of the economy, and the economy is working for you. So this mostly applies to middle class and lower income households.
Interesting. Now, you remember, as do I, the economic forecast and the feelings prior to the presidential election in November probably swayed the election for President Trump. Those poor economic numbers brought down the Democratic ticket. Is President Trump seeing similar decline in his ratings since he's the president and it's, quote, his economy?
He is, and particularly since the announcement of his Liberation Day tariffs in April, we've seen a pretty steady decline in his approval rating and consumer views about the economy. And the president's also kind of falling into the same position that President Biden was at the end of his term, where there was encouraging economic numbers. Inflation was coming down, and President Biden and Democrats were trying to tell people that, hey, the economy is getting better. Prices are coming down, but consumers were not feeling that reduction. They were still seeing high prices at the grocery store for eggs and other staples. President Trump, in response to the elections last week, where affordability was a big issue in the elections, President Trump has been saying, prices are coming down, the economy's good, and essentially the problem is that Republicans are not emphasizing this enough or talking about it enough. And it's sort of running counter to what Americans might be feeling. In other words, you could tell them that prices are coming down and that the economy is improving, but if they're not experiencing it in their real lives, they're not going to believe that. They're not going to follow that.
Yeah, I think the only industry year to year we're seeing a decline, or consumer good that we're seeing a decline, is the price of gasoline, which is notably cheaper. But pretty much everything else costs more now than it did a year ago.
Particularly prices, goods that are subject to imports and would be affected by the tariffs that have been on since April.
I'm glad you brought up the tariffs, Mark. So I'm looking at the markets right now. Everything's up: Dow, S&P, NASDAQ. Primarily, I believe, I could be wrong, the fact that the government shutdown could be coming to an end. We are still awaiting the Supreme Court to make a ruling on the legality of the Trump tariffs. Do we have any idea how the markets will react if the Supreme Court says, yes, the president has this power, or no, he doesn't have that power?
I don't think we know yet, because part of the problem is we don't know what happens next. If the court decides that the president does not have this power to impose the country-specific tariffs under IEEPA, what happens next? And presumably there'd be a refund process, but there's uncertainty about whether the court would order a refund and just how that would happen. In fact, Justice Amy Coney Barrett even raised this question. Would this just be a mess trying to refund the tariffs that have already been paid?
Yeah, that would be a mess. And then the president floated the possibility of a tariff dividend check going to Americans out there. Mark Niket, Bloomberg News. Great stuff as always, Mark. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
There you go. Mark says, I just ordered pizza. Aram, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, interesting stuff there. RFK Jr. announces plan to remove black box safety warning on hormone therapy for women. I have no idea what that means, but he is speaking now, is RFK Jr. We'll update our top local stories after we check the roads at 11:18 on the Mark Aram Show. Time to say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, buddy. Got some better news over on the west side inner loop. That crash, 285 northbound past South Atlanta Road, exit 16. That has cleared out of the right lane, so delays heading up toward Bindings in the Truist Park region are starting to improve. Tapping the brakes through Midtown downtown, 7585 southbound from 17th Street as you head down past North Avenue. And also a few brake lights on I-75 south through Stockbridge as you pass Hudson Bridge Road. Traffic brought to you by Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola. Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola have partnered to give you the best of both worlds, all under one special deal. Get your combo tickets at AtlantaIcons.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
If you're hearing scratching, scampering, scurrying noises in your attic, you, my friends, have squirrels. It's Mark Aram here. Getting squirrels out of your home is challenging, and you certainly need an experienced pro to do the job right. Better get Breda to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic for all the critters in your neighborhood. And those squirrels are not leaving without a fight. Trust me, they'll chew their way back in over and over again. You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee to cover every entry point, old and new. The other guys only guarantee the entry point they seal, so each time that squirrel chews a new hole, it'll cost you hundreds of dollars more. The squirrels, trust me, will keep coming back, and so will Breda. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like squirrels. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? but I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
11:24 on the Mark Arum Show. Happy 50th birthday, Jim Adkins of Jimmy Eat World. The Brand's breakthrough hit the middle. I'm going to assume Jimmy Eat World not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Deborah.
Not yet.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. The headline, Outkast gets inducted. I'm going to play some reaction from Big Boy and Andre in just a second. Who else got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It was a good night for the Rock Hall. You had Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes were all inducted as performers. And then they always have a couple of extra ones for like session musicians or people that were just influential.
What kind of musician?
Session musicians.
Oh, session. Okay.
Yeah, what'd you think I said?
Like Caesarean Section Museum.
No. Like people that maybe
artists that were born by Caesarean.
Yeah, and then other ones like musical influence. So Salt and Peppa got in for musical influence. It's almost like they feel like they can only induct so many, but they want to induct other people, so they just come up with other titles.
Did Spinderella get in?
Spinderella was there with them, yes.
Andre 3000, Atlanta's own, getting emotional after the induction yesterday.
One thing that Jack said, man, Jack is, man, he's one of my favorites, man. We love you, man. But one thing that he said something about little rooms. And we started in a little rooms. Great things start in little rooms. That's it.
Andre 3000. Apparently there was a massive after party yesterday. A buddy of mine was at. He said it was phenomenal.
I'm sure, yeah.
Let's hear from Big Boy, the other member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame duo, Outkast.
And I want to say special to my brother right here, man. Thank you for making me be the best I can be, man, and going toe-to-toe on the records and iron sharpen iron just to be the best, man. Ain't nothing but pressure. Love you, man. Love you, man.
Yeah, man.
So are they back? I mean, is this it?
So Andre 3000 did not perform. Big Boy did a medley with some other people. Andre did not get up on stage, and we were all a little disappointed if you were watching that. So they
the
haven't.
dude plays the flute at the airport.
We were kind of hoping that maybe he would just even do that, but no,
Yeah.
he went on stage, and then of course he got emotional, which made me start crying because
Yeah.
I had already watched the Soundgarden thing, which was already crying. But yeah, I was hoping that they would do something together, but no, they didn't perform.
All started in a little room. Great success out of a little room.
Great tribute to Atlanta too, when they were talking about hip hop being
Oh,
East
yeah.
Coast, West Coast, and they just like, no, don't
The
forget
dirty,
about Atlanta. Yeah.
The dirty South. Speaking of little rooms, the WSB radio studio, the Mark Aram show is from a little room. So maybe we'll have greatness forthcoming if we have not yet already achieved it. That sounded like a very political statement right there. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, day 41 of the government shutdown. Do we see a light at the end of the tunnel? Back to D.C. for the latest next on the Mark Aram Show.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Welcome, friends, to Wool Hat season. Yeah, the temperatures drop. The wool hats come out of the closet, put them on your noggin. And then when you take them off, do you have hat head, or do you have a receding hairline or bald spots or thinning hair and you really don't have hat head anymore? It's Mark Aram back from my pals at Advanced Hair. I want you to check out their amazing treatment. Simple one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want to get your hair back and have hat head be a thing again, now's the time, and Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, fellas, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
Hey, contractors, builders, you guys are busy. Do you have time to hang out at the lumber hut waiting for someone in an apron to wander over and ask if they can help you? I didn't think so. You need Randall Brothers. Dave Baker here. Randall Brothers has the widest variety of quality building materials, plus they have the experts on site that understand what you want and will get you the supplies you need and on your way. And Randall Brothers provides excellent customer service, actually has for over 140 years. Big enough to stock it all, local enough to care. See them on the web at randallbrothers.com.
Sell your home with Mark Spain Real Estate and get the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Main Street Auto. As the Senate meets to talk about a possible end to the government shutdown, many air traffic controllers have called out sick today. Delays and cancellations continue to mount at airports across the country, including hundreds of impacted flights today at Hartsfield-Jackson International.
The president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association is calling for an immediate end to the government shutdown, saying workers are now receiving their second $0 paycheck.
Congress must act immediately and ensure that all individuals who have not been paid receive their compensation. Enough is enough.
Nick Daniels says controllers are struggling to pay for food, bills, and childcare. This creates added stress for people who work in a high-stress environment every day, but despite the hardships, he says controllers will continue showing up to ensure the safety of the flying public. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so the one thing that's on everybody's mind today, the weather, extremely cold. Well, you can expect it to stay cold today. Afternoon highs only around 39, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She says you might see a snow flurry or two, but don't worry, no accumulation is expected. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. The nation's highest court is taking up a dispute over mail-in ballot deadlines. Stephen Portnoy has more on that.
The case raises the question of whether states violate federal law when they allow the counting of ballots cast on or before Election Day but received by officials days later. 17 states and Washington, D.C. allow for that. Republicans are suing, saying ballots received after Election Day should not count. The High Court will likely decide this case by the end of June, and its outcome might prove to have a dramatic impact on future elections, beginning with next year's midterm.
And the Supreme Court today said no to a case calling to overturn same-sex marriage. The justices turned aside an appeal from Kim Davis. She's the former Eastern Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples in the fall of 2015. Davis has been appealing a court order that she pay $360,000 in damages and legal fees. New this morning, the FDA removing that black box warning from hormone replacement therapy products for menopause. The warnings had said that these therapies could raise the risk for some cancers, dementia, heart attacks, and stroke. The FDA now saying that the black box warning labels were based on what many experts now consider flawed research from more than 20 years ago. More recent studies have shown the benefits outweigh the risk for many women if hormone replacement therapy is used in the early years of menopause before the age of 60. Well, this is a little alarming. More than 400,000 Honda Civics are under recall after the automaker discovered that a manufacturing issue may cause the wheels to come off the vehicle while moving. The voluntary recall impacts the model years of 2016 through 2021. Honda urges owners to take your car in to an authorized dealer for a free inspection. If needed, the dealership will replace the wheels at no cost. And Georgia Tech is ranked among the top 5 most cost-effective colleges for tech careers. A new study by data science education provider DataCamp has identified the most cost-effective colleges for students seeking careers at top technology companies, and they analyzed 20 different colleges related to tech careers. The University of Washington was ranked as the best value, Stanford coming in at number 2, and Georgia Tech ranked number 3 with more than 9,200 graduates in top tech companies, an annual cost of just over $14,000. All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 2 at 46,984. NASDAQ is in positive territory, up almost 1.5%, and the S&P is up more than 0.5%. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And we got some brake lights in Marietta, Sabrina. WSB's own Ashley Frasca spotted this crash, and I'm seeing the delays associated with it at 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. Left lane impacted there. Elsewhere, downtown, 75-85 southbound, tapping the brakes from 17th Street down toward Cortlandt Street. And the right lane slowing on the West Freeway, 20 eastbound between Fulton Industrial Boulevard and I-285, the west side perimeter. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy, and cold. High 39. Lows tonight in the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, trending a little warmer. High 47. Daytime highs back in the 60s by Wednesday.
It is 38 degrees in Decatur. Milton has 37. And here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 38 degrees. More news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
You have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app,
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB
The app. 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
We're delayed right off the get-go. We hadn't even left for the airport yet. So then we missed our connecting flight in Minneapolis.
Oh, that's Carla, a stranded flyer. Coming up next, could we see an end to the flight cancellation delays and an end to the government shutdown? Straight ahead on The Mark Arum Show.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it, but you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Don't wear 4 sweatshirts at home this winter because your old furnace isn't up to snuff. Get a brand new one thanks to my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum with you. Check this amazing offer going on right now. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. ReliableAir.com. Book an appointment or call or text 770-594-9969.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Our team's 2025 study of retirees found that happy retirees are 2 times more likely versus unhappy retirees to simply have a written retirement plan. Just think, you may be able to double your likelihood of happiness by simply taking an hour to sit down and put pen to paper. If you'd like a financial advisor to help you tackle the trickier questions that need answers, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Will my hair really grow back? Will you stay with me tonight, Mommy?
By giving today, you can help our kids get the care and treatment they need. Give to Children's for that. Donate today at choa.org/give.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. I have some good news and some bad news. First, the bad news for the listeners. Not blaming Deborah, but she is in charge of tickets. I have no tickets to give away today. That's the bad news. Do I blame you or?
You blame the ticket department.
The ticket department,
yeah,
okay.
I have no access to that.
So that's the bad news. No tickets today. But the good news is that Vinny doesn't have to screen the 41st caller. If we had tickets, Vinny would be sweating right now. So good news, bad news situation. Hopefully the tickets will return tomorrow on the Mark Arum Show. 41st day of the government shutdown. We'll continue our coverage now with ABC News' Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, the question on every listener's mind right now, will they or won't they reopen the government? What do we know this Monday morning?
Well, look, we are on track to end this shutdown, perhaps by the end of the week. What happened overnight? The Senate voted 60-40 to get onto a bill that would end and that is the first significant development in 6 weeks of all this. The filibuster was broken last night with 8 Democrats coming over with Republicans to get onto this thing with the airing of a new offer that would fund government agencies through the end of January, keeping a government shutdown off the table until then, and also funding in full the legislative branch, the FDA, the USDA, SNAP benefits, military construction, the Veterans Affairs Department, and a number of other things, but keep everything else funded through the end of January. Look, where we are requires a number of more votes to take place in the Senate and ultimately in the House before the shutdown ends. But there's movement now. There really is some grease in the gears here, and it's, I think, likely that we'll see an end to the shutdown by the end of the week at this point. I will tell you, though, politically speaking, there is a real rift in the Democratic Party this morning. There are activists in every community, certainly in the Atlanta metro, all the way up to Washington, D.C., who are furious at Senate Democrats for taking the step that 8 of them did last night, because they say that Democrats have extended this shutdown for 6 weeks and nothing out of it except a promise, a handshake agreement to have a vote sometime next month on something having to do with the expiring health insurance subsidies that are leading to spikes in premiums in the Affordable Care Act exchanges, affecting some 20 million Americans. Democrats say that, in the main, they say that this should have been something that they should have made a longer stand on, but the Democrats who voted for it say that strategy simply wasn't working. Donald Trump was not going to sit at the table and hammer out an agreement with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, going over the heads of Republican leaders who insisted that the shutdown end first. And so they decided to do what they felt was right and move to end the shutdown first.
Stephen, let's talk about the timeline of this. If the Senate does approve and get the 60 votes, it then has to go to the House. From all indications, not a lot of House members are on Capitol Hill right now, so they would have to get back. And what's the earliest the House could vote on this?
Last night, House leadership advised members that they would have 36 hours to get back to D.C., despite all the air traffic control issues, and pass or vote on this measure. And the expectation would be, if it passes the Senate with more than 60 votes, if that's enough of a sign of bipartisanship, that there wouldn't be any trouble in the House. But you never know. I mean, look, one of the measures that this new bill would include is a specific language that directs the Trump administration to reverse the layoffs of people who were let go over the course of the shutdown. I've never seen language so explicit trying to direct this Trump administration as to how it's going to operate the executive branch. And I wonder what the reaction is going to be inside the White House and among Republicans on Capitol Hill, because there's been a real reticence so far this year, and the idea that Congress can assert itself in that way. Maybe we'll see it happen here.
Yeah, we'll see how President Trump feels about that, and most notably. Who are the Democrats that voted in the Senate for this, and what did Republican Senator Paul vote on this?
Luckily for you, I've got a list. Senator Paul did vote against it. The Democrats who voted in favor were Tim Kaine of Virginia, Dick Durbin of Illinois, Maggie Hassan and Jen Shaheen of New Hampshire, Jackie Rose and Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Angus King of Maine.
Most notably, the two Georgia Democrat senators did not vote for that. All right, Stephen, obviously a huge story. We'll follow throughout the day. As always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, you bet.
At 11:42 in the Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center, got some better news in Marietta. Crash cleared out of the left lane. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. Everything back open there. 285 westbound, the outer loop coming out of Sandy Springs, heading to Cobb County and I-75. Got a few brake lights leaving New Northside Drive. And crash just cleared 75 northbound in Clayton County at Terra Boulevard. And 75 south through Stockbridge, still seeing those brake lights from 675 down to Hudson Bridge Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
1 in 7 Georgians and 1 in 5 Georgia children are estimated to be food insecure.
With SNAP benefits going away in the holiday here, times are especially hard, but you can help make a difference today.
It's the annual 95.5 WSB Triple Team Traffic Food Drive.
Go to WSBradio.com and contribute to help the Atlanta Community Food Bank.
Or come out in person on Friday, November 21st to the Publix, located at 11800 Haynesbridge Road in Alpharetta.
Help a local family in need. Go to WSBradio.com to find out how you can donate today.
Hey, Rufus, who's a good boy? You know, your roof protects everything, Rufus, and everything you love in your home. And Finley Roofing takes that responsibility seriously. Our veterans protect our freedom, our lives, and all the roofs in our country. Dave Baker here for Finley Roofing, the roof guys. You know, Veterans Day is November 11th, Rufus, and Finley Roofing wants to thank our local veterans with a special $1,500 discount on roof replacement. Wait, what's that, boy? Rufus says these are the only vets he likes, so he's begging you to go to the Finley Roofing Facebook page, nominate your favorite veteran, and they could win a prize package with Eric Church concert tickets, cool swag, roofing discounts, and more. That a boy. Veterans protect us, and Finley Roofing wants to protect veterans. Hurry, the $1,500 roof replacement discount ends November 11th, and 0% financing is available. Schedule your free roof analysis today at finleyroofing.com.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere live to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
Picture it, your holiday table. The family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, USDA Choice boneless beef strip steaks are only $7.99 a pound in the family pack with your digital coupon. Limit 5. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
Mark Aram here for my friends at Renters Warehouse. Fall is here. The kids back in school. Time to take a quiz. Question 1. If you already own a house with a low interest rate, what's the best way to get even more value from it? Answer, rent it out. Renting already delivers cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. Now it allows you to keep that low interest rate, and hey, you can always move back in if you want to. Question 2. With Renters Warehouse, do you have to find tenants, collect rent, or handle maintenance calls? No. Renters Warehouse does it all for you. That's why they're Atlanta's leading real estate investment services company. Final question. Do you pay Renters Warehouse a percentage of the rent or a low flat monthly fee? Answer, a low flat monthly fee. For just $115 a month, you can outsource all your management headaches to them. Now, to pass the test, I need you to do one more thing. Go to rwatlanta.com today, book your free home rental price analysis, or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Welcome back to the Mark Aram Show, 11:49, and a happy 66th birthday to Mackenzie Phillips, best known for playing Julie on One Day at a Time. She was on the show before. We've interviewed Mackenzie Phillips before. Was she had a famous mom or dad or both? Mamas and the Papas?
Mamas and the Papas,
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, she played...
Ask Vinny to name another character.
Not a
from
chance.
this.
Not a chance. She played the older sibling to my first ever crush, Valerie Bertinelli. Welcome back to the Mark Aram Show. Valerie's been on the show a bunch of times.
That's right.
Then she
All
issued,
we're missing is Schneider.
Yeah, then she issued that restraining order and said, no, I'm not coming on your show anymore. We're going to get to the big stories in a second, but I do want to take time. Atlanta has lost a pair of legendary figures. First off, Fred Harris passed away. You might not know the name, but you know his smiling face if you ever went to Fred's Barbecue House out on Thornton Road, Lithia Springs. Fred passed away last week. He was laid to rest this weekend, I believe yesterday in Douglasville at the Jones Whalen Funeral Home. A nicer, more generous person you will never, ever meet in your entire life. Fred's Barbecue House used to host Captain Herb's Toys for Tots event every year, every Christmas, and he would host this, and we'd collect with the Marines Toys for Tots. Happy 250th birthday to the Marines, by the way. And Fred was generous, great food, but a greater person. And I know the community on the West Side is going to feel that loss. The famous Yellow Jacket dogs. I loved his cheeseburgers. They had barbecue. I mean, like anything that I loved was served at Fred's Barbecue House, and it was much more. It tasted so much better because of Fred's just amazing aura. Just a fantastic dude. So the city, Metro Atlanta, North Georgia, a little less nice, a little less generous this morning with the passing of Fred Harris from Fred's Barbecue House. Hopefully the Barbecue House, Todd will keep it running. I need to get out there and pay them a visit. But rest in peace to Fred Harris. And we also lost yesterday Lenny Wilkens, former Atlanta Hawks coach, member of the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame, as both a coach and a player. A little more on the legacy of Lenny Wilkens.
Lenny Wilkens died Sunday at age 88. He spent more than 5 decades in the NBA as a player and a coach. He was also known for volunteer work in Seattle to benefit children. In June, Wilkens was honored with the first statue outside of Climate Pledge Arena. There's also a street named in his honor. He led the Seattle Supersonics to their first and only NBA championship in 1979. I'm Brad Ford.
So mourning across the NBA, but here in Atlanta, and he had a huge impact in Seattle, brought them their first NBA title. Wilkens was born in Brooklyn. I didn't know this. His mom was Irish American, and his dad was African American. He was raised in the Catholic faith. I had a brief relationship with Lenny Wilkens. So when I first moved here, Deborah, as you know, I was working at my uncle's cigar store in Buckhead. And one day, Lenny Wilkens' assistant came into the store when I was working and said, "Hey, Lenny wants Cuban cigars," and which are illegal. But I knew a guy. So I said to her, I'm like, "Yeah, I can get you Cuban cigars." And so for 2 years, I was Lenny's Cuban. Yeah. And he paid for them. Because they're expensive, like $800 a box or whatever. But so she would give me them. I wasn't making a profit on it. I just, was the illegal intermediary between my Cuban connection and Lenny Wilkens. But he was so thankful, and his assistant was so thankful that anytime I wanted Hawks tickets, all I had to do was call her. So I am at my uncle's cigar store working, making minimum wage. I'm at WSB Radio making $8 an hour. But if I had friends coming in from town, I'd take them to the Hawks game. This is before Phillips Arena. Omni we're talking about. So, again, I'm food insecure. I can't pay my electric bill. But my buddy Capuzzi comes to town from New Jersey. We go to the Hawks game. I make a call. Lisa was her name, Lenny's assistant. And we had courtside seats. Like the $3,000 seats where you put your beverage, it's on the floor. And I remember Capuzzi looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing down here, man?" He goes, "You work in a cigar store." I'm like, "Don't worry about it, Capuzzi. Don't worry." Anyway, so Lenny, turns out, also lived in my aunt's building in Buckhead. So he was always so thankful. By the time I started doing the Atlanta Hawks radio pre- and post-game, his coaching career ended. I think he retired from the Hawks in the year 2000. I started in 2001. But every time I would see Lenny at the games or around town, he'd be like, "Hey, my Cuban connection." 88 years old. Goodness gracious. Pretty remarkable life there for Lenny Wilkens. So rest in peace to Lenny. Rest in peace to Fred Harris. Two legends of Metro Atlanta. And it's pretty crazy, too, that Lenny Wilkens got into the Basketball Hall of Fame, not just as a player, but as a coach. Phenomenal. Speaking of sports, this is not a good story if you're a baseball fan. 2 other big league athletes are being accused of taking bribes from gamblers. Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz being accused of intentionally tossing balls instead of throwing strikes to ensure successful bets on so-called prop betting CBS's Scott McFarland has more.
William Hinman, a counselor and recovering problem gambler, says prop betting is increasingly becoming a problem for fans as well.
It's the immediate dopamine hit. You're gambling emotionally throughout the game. So if the game's not going your way, you're putting in all these in-between prop plays, micro bets, and it's getting you in trouble. You end up taking a huge loss.
Luis Ortiz was taken into custody at Boston's Logan Airport over the weekend, and he appears in court later today.
It's just like that NBA gambling bust, Deborah, where it doesn't make sense. You're making one of the players that has made $200 million in his career. Why risk that for at most $50,000? Emmanuel Clase, the greatest closer in baseball for the last couple of years, $1 million contract, intentionally throwing balls. And he's lost. He's done. He's never going to pitch in the major leagues again. He's lost his entire career. He's lost $100 million in future earnings, conservatively, just to get that. Now, I don't know if the mafia, if this is true, maybe it'll come to light. The mafia pressured him and said, "You have to throw a ball, or we're going to, cut off your brother's pinky toe." But there's no logical explanation. He gave away $100 million in career earnings, and he's now done. Just a crazy, crazy story. Class A.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today's National Vanilla Cupcake Day. And Hostess Cupcakes, arguably the world's most famous cupcake, can turn out 11,000 cupcakes in an hour, and Hostess sells over 600 million cupcakes each year.
If you're giving me a vanilla cupcake, it better have chocolate frosting on it. Right?
I'm a chocolate fan. So
Yeah. Relatedly, I had a black and white cookie, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
That was.
I looked to the cookie, Elaine. I looked to the cookie, and it did me dirty. So I should have had a vanilla cupcake, instead of the legendary black and white cookie. Is it enough to cost me star of the show? No.
And
I'm out of purgatory.
Are you guys ready?
I'm out of purgatory.
Star of the show.
And I got those that wanted them breakfast sandwiches, so I'm getting a star of the show. Other stars of the show, Ed O'Keefe live from CBS. He was phenomenal. Ryan Young from CNN joined us live at the airport. Eric Erickson, not Mitch Albom. We missed him. Mark Niquette from Bloomberg is very good as well. John Decker, White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy, and two late additions to the star of the show. Actually, they earned it before the start of the show. Jackie Brammer from sales brought me in all this bird seed.
Aw,
And
that's so nice.
she got them from her neighbor George, who is moving apparently. So George and Jackie, thanks so much for the birdseed. You get star of the show today. No Deborah, no Vinny Longoria. I got to come back
For
after
sure
my
not Vinny
purgatory.
today.
Yeah, for sure not Vinny. You'll learn it tomorrow, Drip. Social media is up and active throughout the day at Mark Arum, MARKARUM. Stay safe.